kumshukuru Mungu kwa mazao. Asante sana Burundi, sangwa amahoro. Asante sana, asante sana. Tuwape makofi mazuri tafadhali. Sangwa amahoro, ngoma tamu kabisa. Mgeni wetu rasmi, nizamu ya wenyeji wa Kenya, kikundi kinachojulikana kama Ambassadors Youth Group, ambacho kina makao yao kule Mathare, nchi ya Nairobi, ama hapa jijini Nairobi. Kilianzishwa mwaka 99 mwezi wa 6, kiliweza kusajiliwa katika vyama vya kitamaduni nchini Kenya, wakiongozwa na Bwana Mwamburi Msamaria Mwema, ambaye zamani alikuwa na Gonda Success Band akiwa ni band leader, lakini hivi sasa aliweza kuanzisha kikundi hiki kikiwa kinahusisha vijana ambao hawajakubahatika kuweza kwenda katika vyuo vikuu, lakini wakaweza kupelekwa katika vyuo anuwahi, na wengi wao wameweza kama vijana 15 wako nchi za mbali kama vile Italy, USA, Turkey, China, Thailand na kadhalika, wakiweza kuendelea kufanya kazi kule na pia kuendelea kucheza ngoma za kitamaduni. Watatulendea wimbo wa kwanza unaosema Jambo Bwana, wakusema welcome all, na kisha baadaye Chele, wimbo wa Kigiriama. Karibuni sana Ambassadors Youth Group Kenya. ngoma asilia ya kutoka pwani, ndugu zetu wa Mijikenda, the Kenyan Coast. Asante sana Ambassadors Youth Group kutoka Kenya kwa ngoma tamu kabisa hiyo chela, na pia jambo bwana. Mgeni wetu rasmi hivi sasa asanteni sana. Tuwasindikize na makofi tafadhali ndugu zetu kutoka Kenya hawa. Mgeni wetu rasmi hivi sasa ni zamu ya ndugu zetu kutoka Rwanda wakijulikana kama Hoza, ikiwa na maana ya ilitoka kwa neno la Kinyarwanda linalosema guhoza. Guhoza ikiwa na maana ya kupembeleza, kutuliza. Tuwasindikize kwa makofi tafadhali. Ohoza kutoka nchi ya Rwanda, kikundi kilichoanzishwa tarehe 5 mwezi wa 6 mwaka wa 95. Ni kikundi ambacho kimeshiriki pia katika sherehe mbalimbali, ikiwa ni hapa nchini Kenya na kwingine katika Jumuiya ya Afrika Mashariki, wakiwa na makao yao kule Kayole katika jiji letu la Nairobi. Mgeni wetu rasmi hivi sasa ni zamu ya ndugu zetu kutoka Tanzania. Kule nchini Tanzania mavazi kama haya huwa ni muhimu sana. Leso zinatumika sana kwa ajili ya kupata kumwonyesha mwanamke aliye mstaarabu, na pia leso huwa na ujumbe ambao umeandikwa na huwa muhimu sana. Kikundi hiki kina takriban wacheza ngoma 16 na wako na makao yao katika jiji ama kijiji cha Eastleigh hapa nchini Nairobi. Wadhamini wao wakiwa ni Lutheran Church wakiongozwa na Bwana Wilfred Samuel na dada Margaret Mugana. Basi ndugu zetu kutoka Tanzania, karibuni tafadhali kwa ngoma yenu. Kuna mmoja hapa anasaga mahindi kwa kutumia mawe, mambo ya zamani. Tuwasindikize kwa makofi tafadhali kikundi hiki kutoka Tanzania. Asante sana kwa ngoma yenu ya kupendeza kabisa. Mgeni wetu rasmi, mabibi na mabwana, ngoma kutoka Uganda, ikiwa hawa wanajulikana kama Uganda Cultural Troupe, wakiwa wanashirikisha mtoto mdogo zaidi Abigail America Zalwango. Yeye yuko kidato cha kwanza na hivi sasa ana miaka 7. Huyo ndiye mcheza ngoma mdogo zaidi katika kikundi hiki ambacho kilianzishwa Aprili mwaka 2015, na hususan kilianzishwa wakati Rais wa Amerika Barack Obama alipokuja hapa nchini Kenya. Basi wakaweza kuanzisha, watatuletea ngoma Bakisimba.
Abenama balungi benjagala mbalinda teba wama bataka bembuga babulira wa balunja bamuno wama bataka bembuga walala obudde bukede wama bataka bembuga abayupidde tusanso balaba wama bataka bembuga bana Uganda tusanso balaba iwama bataka bembuga nyimbe biri edobozi kwana
Angalia mtoto mdogo miaka 7. Hebu angalia mambo haya. Akija kuwa mtu mzima atakuwa sawa zaidi. Hey! Ongeza makofi tafadhali kwao. Uganda Cultural Troupe. Alafu mtaniambia aliyeshinda ni mwanamume ama ni mwanamke? Mwanamume ama mwanamke? Angalia ngoma hiyo. Uganda Cultural Troupe. Wow. Tuwasindikize kwa makofi tafadhali. Tuwasindikize kwa makofi Uganda Cultural Troupe. Wanapoondoka uwanjani, nitarudi studio zetu za Homeboys watuletee the theme song kutoka kwa studio zetu, na nitaomba wananchi, mgeni wetu rasmi, wageni wetu waheshimiwa, tuangalie sasa kwa screen ambayo kwa sasa ina nembo ya Jumuiya ya Afrika Mashariki, tukiletewa wimbo ama theme song katika michezo yetu Jumuiya Afrika Mashariki. Homeboys Studios East African Military Games theme song. Sana Homeboys Studios, tupige makofi tafadhali for the theme song One People One Destiny. Nitauliza hivi sasa kupata kuingia katika kipindi cha hotuba mgeni wetu rasmi, na naomba hivi sasa kuweza kumwalika Mwenyekiti wa kamati andalizi ya michezo hii Meja Jenerali Fatuma Ahmed aweze kuendelea na ratiba inayofuata. Madam Meja Jenerali Ahmed, tafadhali.
The Kenya Cabinet Secretary for Defense, Cabinet Secretary from EAC member states, Chiefs of Defense Forces, EAC Secretary General, Vice Chiefs of Defense Forces, Permanent Secretaries, Service Commanders, General Officers, members of the Diplomatic Corps, event sponsors, participants, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, I feel deeply honored to welcome you all to Kenya and our beautiful city of Nairobi for the 12th East Africa Community Military Games and Cultural Event 2019. Indeed, it is with great humility and pride that the Kenya Defense Forces has taken up the privilege bestowed upon it by the East Africa community to host this glamorous and historic event. This event precedes another upcoming world sporting event, the International Military Sports Council Annual General Assembly and Congress, which will be held in Nairobi in May next year. During this time, Kenya will once again open its doors to the world as member states make important decisions that will impact on military sports within the region going forward. In this year's EAC Games and Cultural event, member states' defense forces will be afforded an opportunity to compete in sporting events and interact socially and share experiences that will forge a sense of unity and friendship, which is a guiding principle in strengthening the EAC ideals. Our emphasis is to use sports to build cohesion and mutual support amongst member states' militaries. Our defense forces are proud to be associated with this great sporting spirit in the region. We realize that sport cuts across both racial and cultural divides and promotes peace and as well as economic activities. Moreover, we appreciate the role the men and women in our defense forces continue to play in flying our respective national flags high and keeping our states on the world sports map. To note also is the inspirational decision to accord equal opportunity to female and male soldiers' representation in these events by consciously selecting sporting disciplines that incorporate gender perspectives in EAC games and cultural events. For this, I thank our leadership. Please allow me to thank the EAC partner states for accepting to send their military sports contingents to this event. I also thank the Burundi National Defense Forces for the outstanding organization of the last edition of the EAC Military Games and Cultural event in 2017 that was held in Bujumbura, where gallant performances in culture and sports were displayed by our soldiers, and from where we took up the mantle, enabling us to be where we are today. I wish to take this opportunity to applaud and congratulate all military sportsmen and women in the East Africa community for doing us proud and for their sense of patriotism. As I conclude, please allow me to make a humble appeal to planners and decision makers of this great event to consider introducing Paralympic Games within the EAC Military Games and Cultural event. Introduction of Paralympic Games will enable our injured gallant soldiers to join their able-bodied colleagues in participating in friendly competitions, which in turn ensures fast-tracked healing. As we say, Karibu Kenya to you, our distinguished guests and participants. I wish you a memorable event and a fruitful stay in Kenya. It is now my duty and honor to welcome the Chief of the Kenya Defense Forces to make his remarks. CDF, sir.
The Kenya Cabinet Secretary of Defense, Ambassador Omamo, Cabinet Secretaries, Ministers from partner states, fellow Chiefs of Defense Forces, EAC Secretary General, Vice Chief of Defense Forces, Permanent Secretaries present, Service Commanders, General Officers, members of the Diplomatic Corps, Defense Attaches, event sponsors, participants, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. Let me first start by introducing my colleagues. First, General Gabriel Jokwiak, the CDF of South Sudan. Thank you. He's followed by Major General Ndayishimiye, the Deputy CDF of Burundi. Lieutenant General Mupenzi, the Chief of Staff of the Army. Lieutenant General Musanyefu, Joint Chief of Staff of Uganda. And one is missing, Major General Othman, Joint GOC from Tanzania. Thank you very much all for coming. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you, our distinguished guests, participants, and the entire sports fraternity from the 6 partner states of the East African Community States who have found time to join us today for the official opening of the 12th edition of East Africa Community Military Games and Cultural Event 2019. This is the 3rd time Kenya Defense Forces is hosting this championship, having successfully done so in 2007 and 2013. This indeed is a great honor. I feel privileged as the host of this year's event, particularly to welcome South Sudan's People's Defense Forces to the East African family, and particularly for the first time in the East African Community Military Games and Cultural Event. Karibu sana, General. The EAC Military Games and Cultural Event 2019 marks a major milestone in Kenya Defense Forces sports calendar this year. And like other events before, I am optimistic that this event will continue to provide a forum to cement strong ties amongst the partner states, militaries, and their citizens at large in the spirit of friendship through sports, as the mantra for the International Military Sports Council season goes. It is my sincere hope that the 5 disciplines that form the championship, namely cross-country, football, basketball, netball, and volleyball, will not only allow our soldiers to engage competitively through friendly sports, but also improve on their sporting skills and abilities to give them an edge in the world sporting arena, as well as improve their soldiering capabilities. The aim of East Africa Community Military Games and Cultural event is to foster a spirit de corps and solidarity among the defense forces of East Africa. It is also aimed at promoting physical activity, harmonious development of sports and culture in the region, and contribute to the regional and international effort of universal peace. The theme of this year's event, as has been in the previous years, is the One People Destiny through Military Games and Cultural Event 2019. This therefore implies that partner states are not only just competing in various sports disciplines, but also building friendships and forging unity of purpose. Allow me at this moment to express my appreciation to all the sportsmen and women and their coaches who have endured long periods of training in preparation of this event. I wish to thank the organizing committee of this event for their tireless effort to ensure that this event is a success. Let us cheer the teams as one people, and at the end of these friendly competitions, we shall all emerge victorious. May I conclude by wishing you all an exciting fortnight full of sporting energy and fun. It is my sincere hope that this event will give you an opportunity to meet new people and create lifelong ties through the spirit of friendship through sports. Further, take time to sample what our great country Kenya has to offer and create reason to come back to Kenya in the near future. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my privilege and honor to welcome the Cabinet Secretary for Defense, Ambassador Rachel Omamo, to make her remarks and officially preside over the official opening of the 12th edition of the East Africa Military Games and Cultural Event 2019. Madam.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. As you've heard, my name is Rachel Omamo, and I am the Cabinet Secretary for Defense of Kenya. Before I make my remarks, I would like to introduce my colleagues from the region who have made an effort to come and join us here today. I think you should hear their voices because it affirms that we are truly East African. So may I start off with the Minister of Defense of Burundi to say one or two things and to greet the assembly.
Tutulie tafadhali kidogo. Thank you.
Jambo, jambo.
Thank you very much. I also have the distinct pleasure to call on my colleague, the Honorable Minister of Defense of South Sudan, to also say something.
Thank you, Kenyans. Thank you, East African communities. It is through sports and through the army sports and cultures that we can bring our people together and realize the unity of our country, people of our countries. And thank you.
Finally, because this is a very important sports and cultural event, I have had the privilege of having my sister, Ambassador Amina Mohammed, the Minister of Kenya for Culture and Sports, to join us. And I would like her to say a few words also. Waziri.
My dear colleague and dear sister, CS Rachel Omamo, my other colleague ministers, the CDF, Motete and his colleague CDFs from the neighboring countries, the Secretary General of the EAC, and fellow participants, and all the distinguished guests that are here. Let me begin, first of all, by thanking the Ministry of Defense under the able leadership of the CS Rachel Omamo for organizing these amazing and historic games. Can we give them a clap, please? And secondly, on behalf of the Ministry of Sports, and PS Sports is here with me, I'd just like to welcome you to Kasarani, which is a premier sports facility of the Ministry of Sports. Please feel welcome, and again, thank you very, very much, Sister Rachel, for asking me to join you at this event.
I would also like the representative of the EAC Secretariat to also stand up and greet you. Please, sir.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Your Excellencies, Ministers here present, Your Excellencies, Chief of Defense Forces, Permanent Secretaries here present, I wish, first of all, to thank you all, and I wish to first of all, once again, also personally welcome you in this East African Community Military Games and Cultural Event 2019. As we are gathered here, Your Excellencies, let me also take this opportunity. As you know, last week on 10th, meaning last Saturday, we have lost lives in one of our East African Community partner states, and this is because of a tanker which has been blasted and killed almost 75 people in Tanzania, Morogoro, and I wish to request you rise and we remember them. We take 1 minute silence. May their soul rest in eternal peace. Thank you. Your Excellency, this event of today is a testimony of East African Community integration process, East African Community integration process, in which our East African Community partner states have engaged themselves in an integration agenda following the treaty for the establishment of East African Community, and they have agreed upon together to implement this integration process anchored on 4 pillars: the customs union, the common market, the monetary union, and the political federation. Currently, we are implementing the single customs territory and the one-stop border post. We are implementing the single customs territory, yes, but under the common market protocol, where we speak about free movement of people, goods, labor, services, and the rights of establishment of and residence, we are implementing the common higher education area. We are implementing the single communication network area. We are implementing the East African Community tourism visa, and partner states have already begun distributing the East African Community electronic passport, and this to enforce the free movement of people in our community. Currently, we are discussing the common the common single airspace area, and we are also implementing the East African Community single tourism visa. Your Excellencies, I wish to say that these games, the East African Community Military Games and Cultural events, are in this context of the East African Community integration agenda, and we are happy that East African Community is reported being the most integrating regional economic community in Africa, and we are happy for that. I congratulate actually this activity, and we thank the government of Kenya for having accepted to host this event for the second time. As said, the first one being having been in 2007, and we are moving towards actually this unity and solidarity among our East African Community armed forces, and this is one of the pillars of integration, as normally security, peace are the strong foundation of our East African Community development. Moving together, Your Excellencies, we are strong. Divided, we are all weak. Let us keep on moving together. Thank you.
I thank you all very much for assisting me in this opening ceremony. I will now read my formal address, and may I acknowledge the presence of the Principal Secretary of Defense, and I think the Principal Secretary of Sports and Culture, the Chief of Defense Forces from Kenya and throughout the region, the Vice Chief of Defense Forces, all the service commanders, all the senior officers present, sportsmen and women. Can I greet you in some of the languages of our region? So if I get it right, will you clap for me? I hope so. Okay. First, Amegoro. Right? Okay. I think some of you understand that. Then Kefin Ekum. This is a tough one. Muri Mutia, Muri Mutia. Okay. And of course, Habari. Ladies and gentlemen, I am delighted to greet you in the languages of the East African community. I'm also delighted and privileged to preside over this opening ceremony of the 12th East Africa Community Military Games and Cultural event. The Ministry of Defense, and indeed all Kenyans, are extremely pleased to welcome all of you to Nairobi. We are grateful that you have honored our invitation, and we look forward to 10 exciting days of sports and cultural interaction. I urge all our visitors to treat Nairobi as home and to feel really comfortable and appreciated here. Ladies and gentlemen, this event affirms the spirit of cooperation and friendship that we have established between the defense forces of the East African community, and it presents the occasion for all of us to further the cause of deeper East African integration. I am proud that our respective militaries have taken the lead in building the trust and comradeship that underpins our vision of a united, peaceful, and prosperous region. In this regard, I'm extremely pleased to recognize the presence of our brothers and sisters from the Republic of South Sudan who are participating in the East African Military Games for the very first time. Can we give them a hand clap? I thank your minister for joining me and our other colleagues from the region to open these games, and we wish to say karibuni sana, and it is our hope that one day we will travel to Juba to participate in the East Africa Games there. Ladies and gentlemen, sports and culture are important integration tools because they sow the seeds of understanding and trust. When young soldiers and officers from our region energetically compete in various disciplines, share their cultural heritage and their unique experiences, barriers of apprehension dissipate and true friendship blossoms. Oh dear. Is everything all right? It is vital for our defense cooperation that our militaries not only train together, but they also play and compete together. Sports has the added advantage of not only strengthening the body and mind, but it also contributes to character building. Sports has the capability of instilling in our soldiers the values of self-discipline, hard work, as well as the virtues of courage, patience, perseverance, respect for authority, and teamwork. Through sports, the significance of honesty and fair play are revealed. More than this, sportsmanship imparts the hard lesson of accepting defeat and victory in the same spirit. It is my hope that the participants at these games will not only delight in competing with one another, but they will consider themselves privileged to demonstrate to all East Africans that we are indeed one people with one destiny in which each and every one of us has a stake.
tutulie tafadhali, tutulie kidogo tafadhali. Asanteni kwa kumfahamisha daktari na ameona. Asante.
Ladies and gentlemen, in closing, this edition of the East Africa Military Games would not have been possible without the support of the East Africa partner states, the East African Chiefs of Defense Forces, and the EAC Secretariat. We are grateful to you for entrusting Kenya with this duty of hosting these games. I extend my accolades to the KDF Organizing Committee, led by Major General Ahmed, for their tireless efforts in shouldering the onerous task of organizing these games. I thank you for your dedication and your tenacity, and I wish you well as you steer these games to their final conclusion. To all the participants from Tanzania, Uganda, Burundi, Rwanda, South Sudan, and Kenya, I urge you to compete fairly and with determination. I ask that you do your best, that you make new friends, that you share your culture, and that you savor the very pleasant experience of being East African soldiers and officers over the next 10 days. Remember that the prize you seek is not so much in winning every event, but it is in engaging in sports as East Africans and crystallizing the deep-rooted ties that bind us together as one people. I wish you all the very best, and it is now my singular honor and pleasure to declare the 12th East Africa Community Military Games and Cultural Event for the year 2019 officially opened.
Tupige makofi tafadhali kwa ajili ya jambo hilo. Asante sana. Basi mgeni wetu rasmi, naomba tena kwa heshima uniruhusu turudi pale kwa screen tuweze kupata theme song mara ya mwisho, alafu kisha parade commander aweze kuondoa gwaride ya majeshi Afrika Mashariki. Homeboys, tafadhali.
Security, peace and stability is our desire. Security, good neighborliness, peace and stability is our desire. Yeah, one people, one destiny. Tuungane kwa umoja. Let's celebrate this destiny. Kwa michezo na utamaduni. One people, one destiny. Tuungane kwa umoja. Let's celebrate this unity. Kwa michezo na utamaduni.
Amani, umoja ni msingi wa Afrika Mashariki. Urafiki kwa kuaminiana ndiyo nguzo ya maendeleo yetu.
Karibuni Kenya, hakuna matata. Together let's explore this peace. Burundi, Kenya, Rwanda, South Sudan, Tanzania, Uganda, oh, East Africa, all is one. One people, one destiny. Tuungane kwa umoja. Let's celebrate this unity. Kwa michezo na utamaduni. One people, one destiny. Tuungane kwa umoja.
Makofi mazuri tafadhali kwa theme song. One People, One Destiny, East African Community. Wakati wa parade commander sasa kuondoa gwaride. Mgeni wetu rasmi tafadhali. Wakijiandaa kutoka hivi sasa gwaride ya majeshi ya ulinzi ya Afrika Mashariki. Bendera za nchi zinazoshiriki katika michezo Jumuiya ya Afrika Mashariki. Nchi ya Kenya, Parade Commander Major Marangach anaongoza kikundi cha Kenya. Captain Opuko, GSM Warrant Officer 1 Epudaka, RSM akiwa ni Warrant Officer 1 Ogawo. Anaibeba bendera Corporal Makiso. Nchi ya Burundi wakiongozwa na Major Nefash, Sergeant Major ama RSM Warrant Officer 2 Nsabimana. Anaibeba bendera ni Corporal Nduwimana. Frishers, Jeshi la Wananchi la Rwanda wakiongozwa na Luteni Rebero Josion. RSM Warrant Officer 1 Munyema na Tadei. Anaibeba bendera Sergeant Major Niyibigira Alphonse. Nchi ya South Sudan kiongozwa na Captain Gabriel Oluwak akisaidiwa na Luteni Akol Riech. Anaibeba bendera ni Sergeant Major Akech Deng. Nchi ya Tanzania wakiongozwa na Captain Akingo. RSM Warrant Officer 2 Mwambatula. Anaibeba bendera ni Corporal Eric Kahangwa. Nchi ya Uganda wakiongozwa na Luteni Jen Kiwanuka. RSM akiwa ni Warrant Officer 1 James Onenchan. Bendera Corporal Namirembe Irene. Mwisho GSM Warrant Officer 1 Wycliffe Omuse Epudaka. Tafadhali wale mnaongoza teams, naomba mkaribie tafadhali. Wale marshals wa team Kenya na Burundi waanze kusonga karibu tafadhali. Marshals timu ya Uganda na Kenya pamoja, Kenya, Burundi tafadhali naomba muwe standby kuweza kuingia uwanjani. Baada ya hii, mgeni wetu rasmi Madam CS, bendi yetu ya majeshi ya ulinzi ya Kenya, samahani, jeshi la nchi kavu la Kenya, wanaondoka uwanjani kwa style, wakituletea burudani fupi sana ya muziki, wakiwa wanaondoka uwanjani, bendi ya jeshi letu la nchi kavu. Mgeni wetu rasmi hivi sasa itafuata dimba la kwanza ambalo litakuwa la ufunguzi baina ya timu ya Kenya wenyeji wakipambana na timu ya Burundi, ambayo hiyo ndio itakuwa mechi ya kwanza. Kwa hivyo kwa sasa nauliza Homeboys Studios mtupeleke kwa FIFA song. Homeboys Studios patie FIFA song tunapokaribisha timu ambazo ndizo zitafungua mashindano yetu makala ya 12 ya majeshi ama michezo ya majeshi ya ulinzi ya Jumuiya ya Afrika Mashariki. Studio. Kupata kuendelea kuwakumbusha wakati maafisa wanaohusika na mechi wanapojiandaa. Mgeni wetu rasmi, naomba kupata kuwaelekeza kwa ufupi vile mambo yatakavyokuwa kuanzia siku ya leo hadi kesho. Katika mchezo wa soka tutafunguliwa leo na mpira ama mechi baina ya timu ya Burundi na Kenya, na kisha kesho tutakuwa na mechi katika mpira wa soka baina ya timu ya Uganda wakipambana na Rwanda siku ya kesho saa 9 kamili. Katika mchezo wa basketball ama ukipenda wavu, kesho inshallah saa 8 kamili katika Indo Gymnasium timu ya Burundi watapambana na Tanzania saa 8 kamili. Saa 10 kamili Uganda watapambana na Rwanda, na saa 10 Uganda na Rwanda. Saa 12 Kenya na Sudan katika mchezo wa basketball. Na wakati huo michezo hiyo yote itakuwa inaelekezwa kule katika gymnasium na Warrant Officer 1 Mwangi, Warrant Officer 2 Achanga na Sergeant Kiari, ambao hao ndio watakuwa watangazaji wetu katika Indo Stadium. Na kwa upande wa mpira wa soka tutakuwa naye Senior Sapa Banzi wakiwa pamoja na mwenzake Lance Corporal Kasaine wakituelekeza katika mchezo wa soka. Katika mchezo wa mpira wa pete ama netball, kesho saa 4 asubuhi Rwanda watapambana na Tanzania. Saa 9 mchana Burundi watapambana na Uganda. Hizo ndio mechi zitakuwa kule kwa ajili ama katika uwanja wa Kenya School of Monetary Studies, mchezo wa netball. Na huko watangazaji watakuwa ni mimi Warrant Officer 2 Mwandawiro nikishirikiana na mwenzangu Kopo Hamisi Jenje. Kwa upande wa volleyball, kesho saa 3 asubuhi Tanzania Rwanda, saa 5 Kenya na Uganda katika Indo Gymnasium. Homeboys FIFA song. Wakati wote kuanzia hivi sasa, mgeni wetu rasmi, basi timu ya Uganda timu ya Burundi na wenyeji Kenya wataingia uwanjani. Homeboys ipo, twende kazi. FIFA song. Mabibi na mabwana, timu ya Burundi, mtusalimie tafadhali, tuwapigie makofi. Shwari, shwari. Lakini hao ni masabu. Kumbuka hawa ni wachezaji wa ziada tu. Mgeni wetu rasmi Balozi Rachel Omamo hivi sasa wanakuja akiwa amebeba bendera ya Jumuiya ya Afrika Mashariki. Ni senior private Edwin Wekoba ambaye amekuwa goalkeeper katika timu yetu ya majeshi ya ulinzi ya Kenya, akiwa yeye mwenyewe ni mpenzi wa michezo. Na ukiweza kumtazama mgeni wetu rasmi, mwanajeshi huyu yuko katika wheelchair, ikiwa na maana kwamba yeye ni hero. Aliweza kupata ajali alipoweza kuwa kule vitani nchi ya Somalia, na kwa bahati mbaya akapoteza miguu yake yote miwili, lakini yeye mwenyewe ana furaha sana kwa sababu Mwenyezi Mungu amemweka kuwa hai hadi siku ya leo. Yeye pia aliweza kukabidhiwa medali ya Silver Star na rais wetu wa Jamhuri ya Kenya, Mheshimiwa Uhuru Kenyatta. Tumpigie makofi tafadhali Senior Private Edwin Wekoba kutoka katika majeshi yetu ya ulinzi ya Kenya, na watoto wetu wakibeba bendera ya Kenya na hali kadhalika bendera ya nchi ya Burundi. Kumbuka kama nilivyosema, Senior Private Wekoba amekuwa goalkeeper mkali sana katika timu zetu za majeshi ya ulinzi ya Kenya. Huyu ni shujaa wetu ambaye tunajivunia. Basi mgeni wetu rasmi, timu zinazoshiriki katika mechi ya kufungua, mechi ya ufunguzi, ndio hizi zinaingia uwanjani hivi sasa. Timu ya Kenya wakiwa katika mavazi meupe na mekundu na shoti nyekundu, na timu ya Burundi wakiwa upande ule mwingine wa pili, kijani kibichi changanyana na nyekundu. Timu ya Kenya ndio home team, timu ya Burundi ni away team. Nakumbushwa na mwenzangu Warrant Officer 1 Mwangi kwamba mwaka 2017 ilikuwa hivi tu kwamba hizi timu mbili ndizo zilizofungua rasmi michezo. Kwa hivyo historia imejirudia. Hivi sasa tena timu hizi zinafungua rasmi michezo ya majeshi ya ulinzi ya Jumuiya ya Afrika Mashariki, ikiwa ni makala ya 12. Kwa sasa nitauliza kwa heshima mgeni wetu rasmi Balozi Rachel Omamo, ukisindikizwa na mkuu wa majeshi ya ulinzi ya Kenya Jenerali Samson Mwathethe na msaidizi wa mkuu wa majeshi ya ulinzi Meja Jenerali Fatuma Ahmed, na hali kadhalika Defense Minister Burundi Bwana Emmanuel Tamvirai na naibu mkuu wa majeshi ya ulinzi ya Burundi Meja Jenerali Ndaya Shimie waweze kumsindikiza mgeni wetu rasmi. Waziri wa ulinzi Burundi Bwana Emmanuel pamoja na naibu mkuu wa majeshi ya ulinzi ya Burundi uweze kumsindikiza mgeni wetu rasmi kuja kuweza kufungua mechi hii rasmi siku ya leo. Na namuona pia waziri wetu wa michezo Madam akija pamoja wakiweza kufika kuweza kufungua mechi, Madam Amina Muhammad. Maroon Commandos, mngekuwa karibu basi mngeweza kumsindikiza mgeni wetu rasmi uwanjani. Akisindikiza na mkuu ama mwenyekiti wa kamati ya kiufundi Brigedia Mwinyi Kai, hali kadhalika kidogo tu chini kidogo Maroon Commandos, kidogo tu Maroon. Thank you. Madam anamsalimia yule star soldier wetu. Kumbuka huyu ni shujaa kama vile nilivyosema. Senior Private Wekoba Edwin, goalkeeper kwa miaka mingi katika majeshi yetu ya ulinzi ya Kenya. Pia yuko pia pamoja nasi mkuu wa msafara Kenya akienda kusalimiana pale na maafisa. Kwa mengi zaidi nitampisha Senior Sapa Emmanuel Banzi akiwa kule uwanjani tayari kupata kutuelekeza zaidi. Kwako Banzi, kama unanipata.
Asante sana mwenzangu. Basi hapa mgeni wetu rasmi tayari upande wa timu ya Burundi akiwasalimia wachezaji hapa, kianza mwisho kabisa jezi nambari 17 mgongoni Kevin Niyonzima, kwake jezi nambari 5 mgongoni Ismail Kabuntu, jezi nambari 10 mgongoni, jezi nambari 12 mgongoni Frank Ndikurio, jezi nambari 6 Steve Ndinduruvugo, akiendelea kutambulishwa hapa, jezi nambari 3 mgongoni Pierre Bonimpa, jezi nambari 22 mgongoni Tusa Nkurunziza, Jazi nambari 9 mgongoni, Ayub Dishmiridawa. Jazi nambari 3 mgongoni, Jimmy Irakoyazem. Jazi nambari 17, Kevin Nyonzima. Jazi nambari 2, Stefane Rugo Mvuya. Hapa vile vile akiwasalimia waamuzi katikati ya kiwanja, ikiwa mwamuzi wetu wa mechi hii ambaye atakuwa katikati ya uwanja anajulikana kama Kato Richard, akisaidiana naye Miro Ashraf na vile vile Mbarak Haule. Hapa fourth official anajulikana kama Ishag Nyeimana. Kwa timu yetu ya Kenya almaarufu Ulinzi Stars, team captain jazi nambari 40 mgongoni, Mohamed Hassan. Jazi nambari 13, Timothy Odhiambo. Jazi nambari 35, Brian Birgen. Jazi nambari 19, Omar Mbongi. 12 mgongoni, Bonventure Muchika. Jazi nambari 18, Boniface Onyango. 26 mgongoni, Waweru Daniel. Jazi nambari 28 mgongoni, Churchill Muloma. 24, Oscar Wamalwa. Jazi nambari 37 mgongoni, Nando Elvis, na vile vile jazi nambari 23, Omar Barua, wakitufungia 11 watakao wanajitosa uwanjani kwenye mechi hii ya ufunguzi. Penzi mwanasoka mwenzangu, kumbuka kwamba hapa ni michuano ya majeshi ya ukanda wa Afrika Mashariki, makala ya 12, ikiwa leo ni ufunguzi rasmi wa michuano hii. Basi tayari mgeni wetu rasmi akesha maliza kusalimiana na wachezaji, na nafikiri hapa kama ilivyo mila na desturi za mchezo wa soka, basi tutakuwa tunatulia kidogo, na hapo nitakurudishia mwenzangu Warrant Officer 2 Gibson Mwandawiro ili ukaweze kuwa standby kwa nyimbo za taifa, wimbo wa taifa wa Burundi na hali kadhalika wimbo wetu wa taifa wa Kenya.
Asante sana mwenzangu Banzi, mimi hapa niko standby vizuri sana. Kwa hivyo kwa heshima nauliza sote uwanjani.
Kidogo mwenzangu,
Naam.
Kidogo tu, bado kidogo.
Naam.
Tutakujuza alafu utaweza kuja hewani, lakini standby.
Asante sana Achanga, niko standby. Mgeni wetu rasmi anaenda kusalimiana na bench ama ukipenda wachezaji wa ziada pamoja na coach ama technical teams ya kila team. Namwona pale pia CAF Sergeant Major wakiwa CAF Sergeant Major Warrant Officer 1 Dennis Talengo pamoja na mwenzake kutoka jeshi la wanamaji Kenya Navy Sergeant Major Warrant Officer 1 Haji Bwana Omar, na hali kadhalika Kenya Army Sergeant Major Warrant Officer 1 Haji samahani Hamud Said Abdalla. Kwa heshima sote tusimame uwanjani tafadhali kwa ajili ya wimbo wa taifa nchi ya Burundi na wimbo wa taifa wa Kenya. Tusimame sote uwanjani tafadhali. Let us all be upstanding. Wale mnaniangalia kule tafadhali, mwisho tusimame tafadhali. Asanteni. Kenya Army Band. Basi makofi mazuri kwa timu zote tafadhali. Wapi nduru ya timu yenu?
Basi tayari tumekwisha maliza kipindi hiki, na muda wote kuanzia sasa ngarambe itakuwa inang'oa nanga, lakini kama ilivyo mila na desturi za mchezo huu wa soka, lazima mgeni wetu rasmi akaweze,
yani unasema madam atapiga ball.
Atapiga ball.
Apige ball. Apige ball goal! Wapi makofi ya madam?
Basi
asante sana.
Mambo safi kabisa hapa na muda wote kuanzia sasa. Basi ngarambe hii itakuwa inang'oa nanga.
Kidogo
team manager wa timu ya Ulinzi Stars.
Kidogo mwenzangu.
Naam.
Mgeni wetu rasmi madam, naomba uje uweke sahihi. Naomba uweke sahihi hapa katika ubao huu. Kindly sign Madam CS. Madam, tunaomba waweke sahihi tu hapa kwa hii mbao yetu ya kumbukumbu kwamba siku ya leo madam ulianzisha mechi hizi rasmi, na ubao huu tutaweza kuweka mahali tutakuwa tukikumbuka kwamba siku ya leo madam ulifungua rasmi michezo yetu ya Jumuiya ya Afrika Mashariki hapa katika uga Moi wa kimataifa michezo Kasarani. Anaandika pale play fair, play fairly and good luck. Makofi kwa waziri wetu tafadhali. Play fairly and good luck. Thank you so much madam CS and God bless you. Naomba mwefike mweze kuchukua nafasi zenu kwa jukwaa kuu na mechi iweze kuanza rasmi siku ya leo. Kwako Banzi sasa kwa mengi zaidi.
Asante sana mwenzangu. Kama nilivyokuwa nawajuza kwamba team manager wa timu yetu ya Ulinzi Stars anafahamika kama Senior Sergeant Christopher Ouma, head coach akiwa ni Sergeant Benjamin Nyangweso, assistant coach akiwa ni Koplo Ndeto Mulinge Ndeto, goalkeeper ambaye pia anawatrain goalkeeper wa timu ya taifa ya Ulinzi Stars Sergeant Francis Onyiso. Team doctor anafahamika kama Sergeant John Imboywa, na kwenye upande wa Burundi vile vile coach akijulikana kama Adjutant Prudence Ndanyishimiye akisaidiana na Adjutant Richard Nitunga. OC anafahamika kama Major Landry Nsebe. Basi hapa tayari wachezaji wako sambamba kweli kweli, hali yao ya afya ikiwa ni shwari, tayari kujitosa uwanjani kwenye mechi hii ya ufunguzi. Basi tayari wamekwisha peana heshima yao ya mwisho. Labda tu mwenzangu hapa Lance Koplo Kasaine ukaweze kutueleza mawili matatu kuhusiana na kandanda ama mechi ambayo inaenda kuanza muda mchache kuanzia sasa.
Asante sana mtangazaji mwenza Banzi. Basi kama alivyosema kwamba leo ni leo, basi baina ya dakika 90 hivi msikilizaji, basi tutakuwa tunajua ni yepi katika uwanja huu wa Moi Sports Center Kasarani. Timu ya Kenya msikilizaji, ama ukipenda Ulinzi FC, wakicheza kwa mavazi yao meupe na kaptula nyekundu msikilizaji, katika zile hali tu za maombi ili basi kuweza kuanza kinyang'anyiro cha leo. Kumbuka basi kama ndivyo unaungana nasi ni kwamba timu ya Kenya msikilizaji, Ulinzi FC wakikabana ko na timu kutoka Burundi, ama ukipenda wanaitwa Muzinga FC kutoka Burundi.
Hapa lazima picha ya kumbukumbu. Bila shaka tukiangalia hapa timu ya Ulinzi Stars tayari wako imara kuweza kupigwa picha hii ya kumbukumbu, na wanamuita mwenzetu hapa
Edwin Wekoba msikilizaji. Wapi makofi anapoelekea kupiga picha na timu ya Ulinzi. Edwin Wekoba, msikilizaji, ambaye alicheza kama goalkeeper wa timu ya Ahmad Brigade miaka zake. Huyu kumbuka alikuwa hatari kabisa, huyu goalkeeper wa timu ya Ahmad Brigade Edwin Wekoba. Hapa vile vile kupata picha yake pale, msikilizaji,
timu
Banzi
ya Burundi kuweza kupata picha ya kumbukumbu. Kumbuka kwamba mechi imeweza kusubiriwa kwa hamu na gamu, ikiwa ni mechi ya ufunguzi michuano ya makala ya 12, michuano ya majeshi ya ukanda wa Afrika Mashariki.
Naam, basi wakati wowote kuanzia hivi sasa basi mechi yetu ya leo baina ya Kenya Ulinzi Stars dhidi ya Burundi ama ukipenda Muzinga FC unaenda kung'oa nanga hapa katika uwanja. Naona mashabiki kule basi wameanza zile mbwembwe, basi ishara tosha kwamba mambo yanaenda kuwa mengine hapa katika uwanja huu wa Moi Sports Center Kasarani. Bila shaka basi wakati wowote kuanzia hivi sasa center referee atakuwa anaanza mechi hii dakika 90. Tuone kutakuwa namna gani. Banzi
mbwembwe kweli kweli hapa, wachezaji wa pande zote wakijaribu kutafuta jinsi gani watakuwa wananyakua alama 3 kwenye mechi ya kwanza. Mechi inang'oa nanga.
If you're just joining us here at the Mo International Sports Center, Kasarani, it is the opening match of the East African Military Defense Forces Military Games here, where Kenya is playing against Burundi. 5 minutes gone now in this match, and on your screen from left to right, that is who Kenya is playing. They are wearing jersey white with the red shorts and with white socks there. That is Ulinzi Stars of Kenya, the military side that represents Kenya at the military games. They play at the Kenya Premier League also, where they last won the Kenya Premier League back in 2010. On right to left is the Burundi Defense Forces on their traditional ring with red socks, and it is now a throw-in for Kenya. This is the first game also back in 2017, the opening. That is Kenya getting a chance there, but that is a throw-in that resulted into a throw-in for Kenya. It's now a corner kick. I was saying earlier, the last time they met was back in 2017, also in the opening match of also the East African Military Games that were hosted in Burundi. Long one there from the Kenya boys, but has been cleared away by the Burundi team. A header from Mohamed Rio. Rio, wrong shot there, but captured by the Burundi goalkeeper. Mohamed Hassan Rio is the captain of the Ulinzi national team. Kenya winning possession at the halfway line there, pushing forward. Kenya trying to dictate tempo in this game as they push forward, but there is another clearance by the Burundi defense, resulting into another throw-in. That should have been a foul for the Kenyan side. It looked like a high boot for me from where I'm looking at it from. But Kenya is keeping possession on this side. Kenya managed to score the first goal of this tournament. It is a goal there for Kenya. In the 7th minute, Kenya strike first, scoring against Burundi. A header that was scored by jersey number 24. Look at that. Very good move there by Ulinzi Stars. Then a very good chip in by the Kenyan side. And now that header is war that divides these two sides. Kenya leading by 1 goal to nil against Burundi. 8 minutes now. Can Kenya hang on to this win? They have scored in the early minutes of the game, leading there by 1 goal to nil. Oscar Wamalwa there putting Kenya ahead in the 7th minute with a classic header in the 18-yard box as Ulinzi Stars lead now Burundi by 1 goal to nil. Can Burundi come back out of this one? Great rivalry here for these two sides. It's a throw in again for Kenya. They are dominating this match. Remember, this is the 12th edition of the East African Military Games here in Nairobi, Kenya. They started today and they'll be going on for 10 days and they'll be culminating on the 26th. And they have brought together more than 500 sportsmen and women of the defense forces of the 6 East African country partner states, and that is Burundi, Kenya, Rwanda, South Sudan and Tanzania. A long one by Kenya there into the forward line, but cleared by Burundi. Good one by Kenya, taking tempo in the midfield, taking the ball, but another clearance by Burundi, and it is a throw-in for Kenya. The last time this event was held was back in Burundi in August 2018, and we had 12 disciplines, and Burundi was the team that went with many medals. We had 10 medals. Burundi, they won there, followed by Uganda by 9, and then Kenya came with 8. Tanzania trailed with 4 in that edition of the 11th edition of the military games. Seems Kenya have another foul there by Burundi, and it's now this time round we are having football as one of the disciplines. It's a free kick for Kenya to be taken by jersey number 26. It's a long one out, and it will be a goal kick for Burundi from that side. The first edition of this event was held back in 2005 in Uganda by the Uganda People's Defense Forces. Burundi winning a free kick in their own half. And Ulinzi, you can see them there actually on the faces of the Burundi players having scored the first goal here. They look like they're looking for another one. A long one by Burundi, but taken there, a good one. Can he go? Burundi getting a chance into the box, going another 45. Burundi getting a chance in the penalty box, but they could not put one. That one is a long one, but it is out for Kenya by Burundi. chance there by Burundi, but they squandered it going high, but they have started their game. Another one into the left side of there. Burundi getting another one, getting a chance. Pushing Kenya really hard into the 18-yard box, getting into the penalty boxes. Can they get another? It sends the ball back into the halfway line. Burundi with a chance to go ahead and put another 45. Can they go again? Run back to the side. That was a chance Burundi had there, but they pulled it back, and now it will be a corner kick after clearance there by Mohamed Rio. Joining me here at the commentary booth is Bernard Okumu. I was down there trying to look for these lineups for these sides, and we've got all of them coming on to this side. The Burundi national team is also here, but we've got the Kenyan side getting a chance to do another shooting there by Oscar Omalo, but it goes wide. Oscar Omalo trying to get a brace in the early minutes of this game. 13 minutes gone, and Oscar Omalo, after scoring the first goal, is trying to score another one from the 18-yard box, but his shot went just wide. Him cutting onto the side, coming on back inside, but I shoot there, and it is out for Kenya.
Yes, indeed, and we are live at the Moi International Sports Center, Kasarani. The first half of this, the opening match between hosts Kenya or Ulinzi, if you may like, against Burundi. And the Burundi, of course, going with the Muzinga. Yeah, and Muzinga could be an armed car that usually used in the wars, right? Muzinga, the tankers, right?
That's the tankers. That's the nickname that they are using for their team there.
Yeah, and it is, of course, Kenya taking the lead with a solo goal scored, the lone goal scored in the opening minutes of this particular encounter by Wamalwa Oscar. Now Burundi having to play catch up here. Let's see what they can do.
The goalkeeper for Kenya, we have got Timothy Odhiambo, who replaced James Saruni. Sergeant James Saruni is not on the side, but he's on the bench. He's actually Kenya 1 when it comes to the African Nations Cup, as Kenya gets that throw-in through Brian Birgen. Another chance there for Waweru Dan, but it will be a throw-in for Kenya as Burundi clears that ball out. Brand Bergen, jersey 35. We've got Mbongi Omar at jersey 19 for Kenya. Muchika Bonvenja at jersey 12. And we've got Mohamed Hassan Rio, the captain, at jersey 40. Onyango Boniface is at jersey 18. Then we've got Waweru Dan at jersey 26. 28, we've got Muloma Churchill. Oscar Omalo, the goal scorer there, is the towering striker at jersey 24, and then 37 we've got Nando Elvis, and Boraria Omar is at jersey 23 for Kenya.
Yes, indeed, and let me quickly take you through the Burundian lineup here. We have Ishmael Kabumtu in goal, and Frank and Dick Rio, jersey number 12, Bonpa Pierce in jersey number 3, and Kurunzinza Tuza in jersey number 22. Jersey number 10 is Louis Romeo, and Irakoze Jimmy is wearing jersey number 4, as well as Nyunzima Kevin Arnold in jersey number 17, and Dishimirinawa Ayub in jersey number 9, and Shawoni Amis in jersey number 7. The twin striking, of course, being Mondi Nduru Vugo Steve and Rugumugabo Steven, the two twin strikers employed by the Burundian coach Ndaishinie Prudence, while the Kenyan coach is Sergeant Benjamin Nyangweso. What can 16 minutes played, it's still Ulinzi leading?
Actually, when you look at this game, you realize that Kenya has been the better side for the better quarter of this match, having led there in the 7th minute through Oscar Omaro after a very good kick play by Nando Elvis, getting him that cross there. But they have been putting Burundi on pressure, pushing them onto their side. Most of the throwing on the right side of this pitch have been going on onto the hand side of Kenya. They have been winning possession at the center of the field and pushing them, but you cannot write Muzinga away because they have also been coming onto the side. They have got 2 chances at the 18-yard of the Kenyan side, but they have not utilized those chances, having a miss there from the Burundi side. But Kenya still hammering on. Can they go ahead and retain this one as we get this match going?
Yes, indeed. Let's see what can they spreading in the center of the field here. This is Mogi in search of Shawomi Amisi. Onyango Boniface with the ball down on the left flank here, but well managed, well read by the still Lindsay pushing forward into the box here. What can they do? But directly shot at the goalkeeper. The waiting arms of Ismail Kabuntu, who quickly releases his backline here. Now they're surging forward into the center half. Can Burundi pull us up as here? Can they pull back? They're fighting from behind. You're still early, 18 minutes played, you know.
You never know, Bernard, because it's still an open game. One of the dangerous things to have in a football match is to lead by 1-0. Anything can happen, and Burundi are not sitting back. They are just actually fighting hard to try and capitalize on that. But the problem of capitalizing is you losing the ball at very bad stages, and Kenya can score that one. When you have the possession of the ball, make sure you utilize that ball that you have.
Yeah, an earlier piece of action there.
Yeah.
This was a Muloma Churchill with an open chance to cross into the area there, just on the edge of the box, but well read by Ismail Kabuntu in goal, and it is Ulinzi again on the side here, down on the right flank here, but
Oscar Omalo looks to be actually disturbing them on that striking force.
It's caused problems for the Burundian defense here, and Wimana Louis and Konziza Tuza, who have having problems managing his runs. But let's see what a corner kick here by Waweru done in the 19th minute. Floated into the area, but cleared by the Burundian.
The Burundi defense has to be wary of Oscar Omalo because he's actually playing on the right side and the left side of the field. He's very good at both flanks of the midfield of the striking force, and when he gets that chance, he goes ahead and scores. Let's see what he's going to do with that one, but he never gets a chance. And you look at the chances he's getting at the box, he needs to utilize them. He got an header, he scored. Got a chance to shoot from the 18-yard box. It went actually narrowly wide from there, but what we're seeing now is a very good striker. Speedy wingers from Burundi.
And something interesting with these championships, Osoro, maybe, do you think if a player shines here, he could be picked by another team?
Food for that. I don't think that the military people do exchange people, but it's not right.
But we had Musa Mude, who was a military man in Uganda. He used to play for Sofapaka. He played for Bandari. But I think it's a lengthy, it's a lengthy process to be released, right?
It is a matter of you being released from the military, then you going to join the other professional sides that do not actually represent the military. But according to the military and their statutes, if you're a military man, you stick with your side and you don't move from that one. You look at the case of Stephen Waruru. For him, actually, he had to resign from the military to come and play for Sofapaka, and now actually has been signed by KCB, and it's going to be a formidable side when they Kenya Premier League comes back. And remember, Ulinzi will be in the Kenya Premier League. What will be happening? Well, they'll be facing one of their top marksmen, and that is James Saddle. Oscar Omalo is enjoying himself in the game.
Having a ball, you know. Yeah. He's literally having a ball.
Yeah, they have actually dismantled the Burundi way of playing, and Burundi right now, they don't look to be having a style of play that they can use to play. You look at the Kenyan side, they are playing in a 4-3-3 formation, and Oscar Omalo, the likes of Nandwa Elvis and Boraria Omar are putting Burundi on the loss and making them defend deep. But let's see if Kenya can go ahead and get another goal in this match.
21 minutes played. It is Kenya 1 and Burundi 0. Kenya having much of the runnings here. Another ball into the area. A header here, long ball into the area in search of Oscar Omalo, who the lanky forward. Great ball into the area, long pile drive here in search of Omalo into the area. Had his head on it, but just not on target.
I can tell you for free, Oscar Omalo looks good on air. You look at that long ball that was sent there by Nando Elvis, and then Oscar Omalo getting it from the hands of the goalkeeper, but the header just went wide. It's a very good chance there for Ulinzi Stars to go ahead and capitalize and get a second goal, but they did not get chances to go ahead. Now Kenya moving forward again. Oscar Omalo getting that ball, throwing it back inside, but it is an offside for Ulinzi Stars, and now it is Burundi with the ball.
Ulinzi having robbed themselves back into the game after the Navi opening first 10 minutes. Of course, they managed to get a goal, and that goal has just calmed their nerves but rocked Burundi's defense here, who are still scampering around, finding what formula to go for, or just come back into this particular game.
You look at the Kenyan side, they are winning the balls in the midfield. They are not giving Burundi a chance to play their own game, and Burundi themselves right now, they are not actually comfortable to play their own game. Tactics seems to have gone out of the window.
The Muzinga here seems to have been quietened by the soldiers.
I don't know what coach in Ndajeshishe Prudence is going to tell his boys there to try and calm their nerves down, to try and get their composure and go ahead and fight for the game. You know, when you go 1-0 down in the early minutes of the game, how you respond is what matters, and Kenya is still leading in possession in this match, winning balls at the midfield and going ahead to attack. And you look at the players like Brian Bergen, Omar Mbongi, Hassan Rio, they are confident to play the ball from the back.
Yes, indeed. Ulinzi here in search of a probable goal, or a goal that will just give them the lead or assure them of this particular encounter. Starting from his goal post here, Timothy Odhiambo spreading it to the left flank here in search of Mushika Bonventure. Back to Rio, the captain, ordering his troops here. Long ball into the area, but a little bit too long for Waweru Dan, and Ismail Kubuntu having an easy ride here. They'll be starting it with Frank Ndikuviro, and Burundi coming into Muzinga, coming into this match, of course, hoping to clinch this particular encounter. It's the opener. Remember, after this, after Kenya playing Burundi, they face Uganda on Friday, then wind up their round robin matches against Tanzania. The other team, of course, having not fielded a team in soccer is South Sudan. The other participants in this Six Nation East Africa Military Games, that's happening from today to 23rd of August at Kasarani Gahawa Barracks, and as well as Kasarani Gymnasium, all in one.
Yeah, actually we have got many games that are happening here at the Kasarani, the Moi International Sports Center Kasarani. That's a chance there for Burundi, but they never got a chance to ask for it. A free kick at the edge of the box, and we are going to see Burundi try to take that one. Can they capitalize and score?
Yes, let's see how. Just on the edge of the box. Yeah. What can they do? It requires skill. It requires luck as well for one to score from that tight angle, floating into the area, but Timothy Odhiambo being lucky there. Had a slice of his arm on it.
It's a lucky one, but you gotta give credit to Nkurunziza to side with the way he took on that free kick. It's a very good taken free kick. Look at that. Takes the time, and then takes the free kick. Actually, it is Nduwimana Luis Romeo who takes that free kick. He takes it very well, pulls it inside, but Timothy was very good with that, and he caught that ball.
Not too good enough to beat Timothy, who actually appeared to have been rather made to move on the wrong side by an opponent who was in the goal post, and he actually moved, going to made a run, you know, but the ball was going the other side, but he made amends for that and parried the shot and follows it up and finally clears the danger.
Very much true. Actually, you can also look at the strength of Ulinzi trusting keeper number 2 to come on to that side. That shows the confidence they have in Timothy, because Sergeant Saruni, who is Ulinzi and Kenya 1, is not playing in this one today. He's actually on the substitute bench. But Timothy Otieno, that's the confidence that Benjamin Nyangweso has in his number 2, and he's starting in that one there. And that's how good Ulinzi Stars are set up from the back.
Yes, and maybe to affirm what Soro has just said about Kenya 1, Saruni of course being called into the national team that played Tanzania in the championship.
Very, very good for him. You remember he was also in the provincial squad that was for the Africa Cup of Nations for Harambee Stars, but did not get a chance to travel to Egypt. He got his chance now to come back and play for the Harambee Stars in the Africa Nations Cup, and he impressed. Even though Harambee Stars is out of the African Nations Cup, it is time for Saruni now to play very well and represent Ulinzi Stars in the Kenya Premier. Kenya going ahead forward again, but Ismail Kabuntu getting one overhead there and to clear and capture that ball before it gets into the wrong side of the Kenyan strikers.
Burundi starting it from their own half here, and this is a Mbumpa Pierce. The ball here on the left flank by Tulbi.
Very good flick there by the Kenyan side, but Kabuntu was there to stop.
Making amends as well after he let the first attempt slide off him.
Burundi with the possession now, a long one into the center of the field, but Kenya wins that possession. Now running on that side is Kenyan. Not a good one for Oscar Omalo there, and he taps right down.
But he's been adjudged to have fouled Burundian player. Let's find out, lying on the ground here. 28 minutes gone. It is Ulinzi 1, Muzinga 0, if you like, Kenya 1, Burundi 0.
Yeah, they are Stephen Rogunda Mugabu. Rugono Mugabu, you will forgive our pronunciation.
The left back for...
Yes, the left back
for Burundi.
For Burundi. The one who was fouled there by Oscar Omalo, but now Burundi has possession. But Kenya is on their faces. They are not giving them a chance. Wow, what a nice flick there by
the pack by Pungono.
She won it Amosi, but it never get a chance to stick with it, as Kenya is winning another position there at the midfield. Now going forward is Kenya sticking with the ball, but it is stopped there by Nkuruziza to side. Now it is Burundi with the ball, chasing forward, running with it, putting on the left side.
It would be a corner. Rio, the captain, neutralizing the danger, that particular left flank.
You can see the confidence in the Kenyan defense.
You can see how Rio has partnered well. Mohamed Hassan, or Rio, popularly known as Rio. It will be a corner kick in the first half of this particular encounter as we approach the half-hour mark. Big boot clearance there from the Kenyan defense here. But still Burundi in possession, searching for that particular equalizer that will bring them back in the game. Floating to the area, but cleared. And it will be an offside. Timothy to take it.
Ndishi Mirinawa Ayub was the one who was adjudged there to be on the offside position, and now it is Timothy starting his ball there with his captain Mohamed Rio. They try to push forward in this game. Kenya playing very well from the back, getting their chances very well, but haven't capitalized on them. The first two, Mohamed Rio. The mistake from Mohamed Rio is becoming too confident or too nervous to try and miss that ball.
Complacency setting in maybe, but maybe he knew that the last man in this particular action, Timothy, was steady. But let's see Burundi building on that and trying to come back into the game. Mohamed Hassan again with another clearance in search of he was looking for Nando Elvis, the man who's playing on the
A Burundi player has gone down and now Steve Mondiruvugo is the one who is down and is being aided there by the team doctor.
Dishimirinawa Ayubu requiring first aid from the medical team.
Mondiruvugo Steve is the one who has been requiring medical attention there, and you can see Francis Onyiso, former Kenya one, Francis Onyiso giving instructions there to his side. One of the Kenya's longest serving goalkeepers with over 70 caps for the national team. Started representing Kenya back in 1995, 1996 and played all the way to 2006. More than a decade he played for the national team and made some of the best memories that the national team ever had.
And that one of them must have been made here in 1997, remember? When they were able to deny the Atlanta Olympic team, the triumphant Nigerian squad.
Yes.
They held them to a 1-1 draw. Big result for Kenya then.
Yeah, Francis Onyiso was one of the mercurial goalkeepers that Kenya ever had. As we've got there Nando Elvis being brought down, and they have got a chance, but it is a free kick for Burundi on that side. Let's see there.
There was a battle between Elvis Nandwa and also later in Buraria, Omar coming in and being fouled by the referee. The sign that it goes the other way, and Bonfa Pierce with the foul quickly taken into the area. Aerial duel here. Pierce again.
No, you look
the
at
passes are not finding.
It is just
the green men, the fellow green men.
You look at
in empty spaces in the middle.
At the moment, the Burundi players don't know how they are playing their game. At the moment, when you look at the way the Burundi players are playing their game, you look at that they don't have any mastery, any art of how they are playing this game. They're just kicking the ball. They're trying to clear the ball away from their defense area. They don't want Kenya to get a chance to go ahead and score for them. But when you look at the Kenyan side, they are trying their best. Look at that, a good one from the Kenyan guy, and that is Omar Mbogi getting a flick in that midfield and showing them what he can do on this side of the field. It's Omar Mbogi there dominating the Burundi players, but what can the Burundi players do, because now it is them with the ball, but Kenya wins it again. Burundi with the ball back. Omar Baraza coming back to defend and defending really hard, taking the ball away from the Burundi side, but it is a free kick for Burundi.
Yeah, and Burundi, of course, making their first substitution. Remember, after Mondi Naruvugo Steve having gotten injured and is replaced by Nibitanga Ayel. The first substitution that the Burundian coach Ndaishimie Prudence has made this evening. With just 10 minutes to play in the first 45 minutes of the opening game of the East Africa Military Games. Timothy Odhiambo quickly starting with the left flank here, back to Rio. Rio weighing options, spreads it down the center. Now Burundi again regain the possession here. Now they're surging forward. What can they do? But
Burundi, they have actually got very good speedy wingers. When you look at the speedy wingers of Burundi, the likes of Stefan Rugondo Mugapo, they're actually pushing the Kenyan side onto the flanks, pushing them into the flanks. And you look at the likes of the guy who has come in now, Nibitanga Ayel has gone on to take the place of Steve Mondiruvugo. But what can he do on that right side? The Burundi players are using more on the left side. You look at the players like Mbopa Piaz, who's trying to push ahead in the left side, but they are not penetrating on that side for the Kenyan side. But for the Kenyan players, they are pushing hard, winning in the midfield, going with the ball, passing it around, trying to play from the back, and considering that the Kenyan players are more experienced in the field of play more than the Burundi players, because for the Burundi national team, the Muzinga guys, these are the defense forces. They don't play a lot competitively in their league compared to the Kenyan team, because for Ulinzi Stars, they have been a mainstay in the Kenya Premier League since they were initiated to join the Kenya Premier League. They've actually won the Kenya Premier League here in Kenya a record 4 times. The last time they won it was back in 2010 with the current coach Benjamin Nyangweso still as the coach. A big slide there, but Burundi wins that ball and trying to push it. That's what I told you, Bernard.
Yeah.
Kenya winning the ball at the danger areas of Burundi.
The defense, Kenyans have managed on how to hit the balls when they just get into the center. But Burundi here with an audacious one. Audacious attempt outside the 18-yard, but Timothy Odhiambo easily picks it and squares it forward, headed by Burundi again. Burundi now side into Ulinzi's half here. They return it into the area, hit Burundi struggling to piece passes here, and that could be their main undoing here, failing to find the rhythm and the formula to crack the Kenyan defense.
Very much true. Actually, I've actually brought what was on my mind. When you look at Burundi, their defense is a bit on the shambles, but when you look at players like Irakoze Jimmy, they are not into this game. Where is he? What is he doing in that midfield is a big question that the coach will be asking himself, because he's winning bit of balls here, but his final pass is not that good. Then you look at Yozima Kevin Ahmad also in that midfield area for Burundi is not compact. It's not, but you see how Kenya is enjoying themselves when they get that ball. Wow. Another corner kick for Kenya. After Omar Boravia got a chance to put a square 45 into the yard, but it was cleared by the Burundi.
Yes, remember this particular game beginning today and ending on 23rd.
A 10-day event that will be happening here at the Kasarani. A very good
corner kick there, quickly taken.
Yeah, 10 days that will be happening here at Nairobi, Kenya for the 12th edition of the military games. We've got more games that will be happening tomorrow. If you head to the Kahawa Garrison along Thika Road, you'll be having the cross country, the 10-kilometer women and men will be happening there.
And 19th, right?
Yeah, and then you will be seeing the likes of Ellen Obiri getting onto the field to try and defend some of their titles in athletics. We've got also basketball that is happening also here at the indoor gymnasium, also starting tomorrow.
Yeah, and of course in basketball you can watch out for some of the players that have gone on to shine for Kenya recently in the African. Talking about Eric Mutoro, who was the top scorer at the East Africa Games, right? Yeah. And he was the top scorer at the East Africa Games in 2016 and 2017. These particular games, he was also the second highest scorer at the just ended Africa Cup of Nations, so AfroCan, with 104 points.
A very, very good shooting guard there in Eric Mutoro. Is actually called Corporal.
Yes,
Eric Mutoro for Ulinzi Stars and Kenya. He has proved himself to be a very good shooting guard for Kenya. And we'll be having some of the matches tomorrow. We'll be having Burundi versus Tanzania will be the first match at 2 p.m. Then at 4 p.m. we'll be having Uganda versus Rwanda, and then Kenya versus Sudan will be coming on at 6 p.m. Those are 3 good matches there that will be happening, and we'll be seeing who will be going on with this title. Kenya getting a chance there through Omar Mbonge, second it forward. Oscar Omalo coming in for the header, but Katumbi was there to take that one. Oscar Omalo dangerous on air
throughout this game. This proved to be a thorn in the flesh.
Bergen. talk about the culture of this country, Bernard, because when you look at everything here, when we look at what these games are on for here this time around, we have got many things that are happening. We're only getting a chance onto the box, but Timothy Tieno has managed to deal with Ndumana Luis Romeo's chance there. Timothy Tieno becoming very good on that goalkeeping lane. We were talking about the cultural significance that these games are bringing on actually here at the African Games, because this time around the theme of the East Africa Military Games is one people, one destiny, through the East African Military Games and Cultural event. In the opening ceremony, as this game is going on, if I can just update you what was happening, we saw some bit of entertainment from Kenya. We had also a bit of a chance to listen to one of the favorite bands formed back in 1970 through the military, that is the Maroon Commandos. We had also some of the entertainment from Uganda. So that cultural integration can be seen through these players, and also as they go ahead and enjoy themselves through the football matches. Oh, Oscar Omalo going down.
The referee decides not
a penalty.
Actually, that was a simulation. You could see how you could have wait for the replay here.
Yeah.
A couple of officers, they are shocked that there's no replay there. There's no penalty given.
You wins the ball very well.
The ball very well, but decides to play some tricks. So just don't play such tricks.
He was playing a trick on Mugabo Steven, but Steven was he came out clever against Oscar Omalo, and the referee was a bit lenient. He could have handed a yellow card there to Oscar Omalo on what he's trying through in the field of play.
Yes, and simulation is a serious crime.
Yeah.
On review, you can be penalized even after the incident.
Yeah, actually very much. You can get that one going on for you, as Ulinzi Stars now get the ball and try to play it onto their own side here. Now Mohamed Rio pushing the ball out onto the center side of his counterpart there. Muchika Bonaventure gets it back to Mohamed Rio, who is now pushing it a long one ahead, trying to look for Oscar Omalo. He found Oscar Omalo into the 18-yard box. Oscar Omalo with a chance to loop it in. Good one there for Kenya, but did not get a chance there to head it in. Talk about Ulinzi Stars enjoying themselves here, Bernard, because when you look at that one, that was Mohamed Hassan Rio looking at Oscar Omalo, getting a chance to push it for Oscar Omalo on the line. Oscar Omalo getting a chance also getting back into the box, but Nando Elvis could not get onto that ball and get ahead. Look at that rush from there.
And that was a great sight from the last man for Ulinzi here. We're talking about Rio. That was a great ball into the area, and he set Omalo Oscar free. Omalo Oscar making the turn and deciding to pass the ball. I think he had the goalkeeper to beat, and looking at the options that Nando had going into there, he had two defenders marking him. 44 minutes gone. 45 minutes in actual sense gone.
You look at the Kenyan game, Bernard, as we are going into this halftime. You look at the Kenyan game and you look at the side that the way they have been playing. You look at a very good compact defense there of Mohamed Rio there, Muchika Bonaventure. They have been compact at that side, but you have got to give it to Brian Birgen on that right side, and also the young one Omar Mbongi on the left side. They have been coordinating very well and trying to block that one. It seems to be a Burundi player is on the ground.
Burundi player lying on the ground here as we approach the. Let's see how many minutes will be added on.
They have actually added 1 minute.
1 minute, yes. And the Burundi player
much has happened in the first half.
The lying on the ground.
Yeah.
Kwenye mstatili wa 18 wa lango hili la timu ya Ulinzi.
Football with emotions. You can talk of football with emotions, even though they are playing all about culture, sports and everything. It's all about integration. But when we are that in the moment of the game, the adrenaline of the game, no one cares. It's all about us with the ball, us going to win and what we want. Even if Mohamed Rio is trying to console Stephen Rugondo Mugabo, it is not going to happen because their player is down and is complaining that he is not getting that chance to go ahead.
The desolate Burundian looking bench there.
Yeah.
wondering what kind of formula to come back with in the second half and salvage a desirable result from this particular match.
It seems to be even a tough one because what player is down, his shin guard is actually out, and that one has been none other than Luis Romeo, the guy who has been getting chances to score for Burundi, is the one who was brought down there to be a
corner. They take corner in the 9 minutes of the first half. And Burundi showing urgency in the closing stages.
It is the only chance they have.
There we go. The halftime whistle is on. And the first offense here, 47 minutes played of the opening match, East Africa Military Games.
A very good opening half for the Ulinzi side. They were the one who took their chances very well, and in the 7th minute Oscar Omalo put them ahead. But you look at very composed the Kenyan side, all the way from the back, all the way from the goalkeeper Timothy Odhiambo. They have been composed, they have been using their chances, and for this actually first half we've got to give it to Oscar Omalo. He's the one who has been getting the chances. He's been the one who has been troubling that defense, but he has been getting the likes of Nando Elvis helping him, Boravia Omar also coming onto the side, but you have got to give it to Oscar Wamalo. For the Burundi side, it is a team that came onto the game, and you look at a Kenyan side that was playing onto their faces and never giving them a chance to rest, and they never got back into the game. After they went down, they never came back up to try and get the chances to go ahead and score. They got a bit of a corner kick, a very good free kick that they got there that Luis Romeo tried to take into the goalkeeper, but Romeo was good for him. Those are the highlights of the first half that are happening here, and how Kenya went ahead to do their very best.
And how it panned up for Ulinzi. The opening first 5 minutes were nervy for the Kenyan side, but they managed to hold on and finally found the goal, and there you have it. Leaving.
That is a very well executed. That's a very well executed game. You see how Kenya won that ball. This is the chance that Kenya had also again here, but it was a very long one for him. He could not go ahead
from Dan Oweru.
Muloma Churchill is the one who got that chance. Another long one that came into the box for Kenya, and Oscar Omalo was not taking it actually out of the hands of Kabuntu of Burundi. Did not get a chance, and this was the free kick for Burundi also there, but Timothy Otieno was good to take that away. But you got to give it to Luis Romeo taking that free kick, and they took it very well. Another chance for Kenya, but it could not be held, and it was taken away.
Yes. So quickly tell us, what do you think should be happening in the? Maybe we'll talk about what will be happening when we come back. Don't you go anywhere else? Wait for the second 45 minutes coming up after the break.
Kwenye ule upande mwingine tuko na mchezaji Mohamed Hassan almaarufu Rio, ameweza kuonyesha kwamba yeye ni mlinzi ambaye ameweza kubobea kwenye kuwanyima nafasi nyingi ambazo wangeweza labda.
Hi people, this is Know Your Sport on KBC Channel 1. My name is Maxwell Wasike. Today we're going to speak about the new rules in football, especially those that were used during the 21st edition of FIFA World Cup in Russia. And to help us dissect and get into the analytical aspect of the same is former Harambee Stars tactician and now in charge of Kenya Premiership side Mathare United, Francis Kimanzi. Kim, good to speak to you. What do you make of the newly introduced regulations? Some of them have elicited mixed reactions in football circles, and to start with is introduction of video assistant referee. Good or bad for the game?
I think it's not good enough for football. We are seeing a situation whereby it's like we are trying to robotize the game, but because before there was also some additional referees, and I think it would be very nice if football is played in a live environment with live decisions. So I prefer that, but for the video even more than a minute, I don't think that is really it chops off the entire euphoria in a game whereby a goal is scored and the stadium erupts and everybody is accepting because the referee, we have only one person that we are watching. But at the moment, I think very soon, then if that is getting out of the game, then we will lack those glorious moments in football, in celebrations, and in eruption of the stadiums with the mood that it's a goal or sometimes a very important goal. So I think there's something we have to be careful, otherwise, again, I said earlier, if we robotize the game so much, I think we get the player out of it.
When do you think is the right time for VR to come into effect?
I think if it has to be there, it has to be a discussion when it comes especially to a lot of misconduct. But when it is about, because the whole idea is trying to deliver fair play in the game. But then how fair is also how fair is fair? Because we also saw through the VAR, again, there was also a lot of mistakes that we could see that it is a penalty or not a penalty. You see some double standards in decision making. So I think when you have one referee running it and there's another one behind the goal also supporting, and you have a lineman and I think the pitch is already covered enough. We have already enough numbers to cover 22 players, and I believe that some mistake.
Watching the final between France and Croatia during the coveted showpiece in Russia, of course, some penalty was scored and it was a little bit controversial. Do you think it changed the outcome of the tie, and probably if it was not converted, the final ultimate score would have been something different?
No, the problem is you have to keep waiting for long. And you could see how Croatia they were so demoralized after that, because if it was a decision of a penalty, it has to be decided then. If it is not, then the game has to flow. But not when the game flows for a few minutes and then again it has to be stopped and the referee has to run as if he's going for a short call, and then he comes back with a decision that it's a penalty. So you confuse everybody, and that 2 or 3 minutes you break the momentum of the opponent, because if it was a penalty, it could have been taken within the 3 minutes and the game is on. And players accept when they feel they have done it, but when they feel that they have done their best to make sure they avoid it, and then the referee disappears. Some people thought that even he has gone for a short call, and then all of a sudden he comes with a renewed decision that it is a penalty. I think that was the turning point, and we had a very good final match until that happened. We had a very good match in the beginning, 2 very glorious goals from both teams, and then all of a sudden some crazy decision comes up and it messes the whole thing.
Another rule that has come into play is a fair play rule, and we saw it locking out teams like Senegal, which was among the 5 African representatives in the World Cup in Russia, and of course being eliminated and battled out of the showpiece on fair play rule. Some people terming it as unfair. What do you think? What's your reaction about that?
I think that is also another challenge, because when you have first of all, there's a rule that it's a yellow card, it's 2 yellow cards, and then you're out, and then again you start counting the number of yellow cards and everything.
Yes.
So that's also a decision that is applied a lot in the youth football. But I think when you get into that level, I think then something else has to decide such situations, but not how fair you are. Because if you're talking about the fair play issue, there could be a player in that team that was punished what people thought that was too harsh punishment for a yellow card, for example. And we have seen it happen several times. So maybe 1 or 2 players in Senegal got a yellow card that they did not even deserve. Maybe it was a very soft one, but it kicked the team out of the tournament. So I think, again, if we want to make the game very, very straight, I think we pull out a lot of football ingredients in it also.
Goal line technology, that one we can say we unanimously agree with it.
No, goal line technology, I think that is one of the best initiatives that they have brought. Why? Because the position of the lineman most of the time, when there is some controversies about whether it is a goal or not, if a player has to shoot 30-40 meters and the ball is traveling with a speed, and I don't think the lineman can follow that speed. Neither the center referee can. But I think for the goal line, we all agree, because it happens when everybody. For a lineman, for example, most of the time the assistant referee is always, he's never every time on a motion whereby he's moving. It's not always a moving motion. Sometimes it's even static, depending on the line of the defending team. And when it is strike, maybe a 30-40 meters yard, it's very difficult for a human being to make that decision. But on the goal line, it happens immediately, and everybody knows whether it is a goal or not, and it continues. And the referee can advise the players even when the ball is still running. But for the video analysis referee, then it is also a different scenario, which is very boring and keeps everybody long and waiting. For the goal line technology, that is a perfect idea.
Another proposal that most Africans, especially Kenyans, are delighted with is the expansion of the number of teams that will take part in the upcoming World Cups, especially in Qatar 2022 and North America 2026. What do you make of it? Is there a likelihood that now probably African teams, or especially Kenya, our very own, might take part in the coveted showpiece? And is it in the best interest of the game?
No, I don't think the expansion only targets Kenya. To not a slot for Kenya, because there's no direct slot anyway, unless you are a host. But I think it gives that, if it is a World Cup, look at the number of teams in the whole world. So I think it is also an opportunity and the World Cup is open. Any team can be in if you prepare very well. Panama gave, I think they did it for all other countries who have never made it before, including my own country, Kenya. That it is also possible. A small country like Panama, with maybe a smaller budget, population and everything, very disadvantaged also, they still managed to make it. So it is open for every country, and if we have more slots, that means it also gives other teams, other countries, an opportunity to fight even more, because again there are more slots now. We had 5 in Africa. We thought it was really nothing. Maybe if we have 7 or 8 or 6, that could go to another country which will be more ready than the others.
You have vast experience as far as matters football is concerned. You've been at the helm of Kenyan football for quite long. You've traversed several parts of the world on footballing mission. Do you think now it's high time these new rules can come into play as far as Kenyan football is concerned? The use of VAR, goal line, do you think it will enhance quality or otherwise?
That is the biggest challenge that we have, because if it is only for the few selected countries, especially the European countries, they enjoy that because they have those facilities. But then if you look at developing countries in football wise, like African countries, for example, some countries also in South America, if you look at the infrastructure of most other countries that have also been in this World Cup, then you wonder whether there is a fair balance in between. Because do you want to try domestically, and how is it going to be received? Because we say that every continent and every country has their own culture, even though the rules are the same. But those cultures, sometimes people don't embrace every change that easy. It might come into other countries whereby in every football match it might trigger a lot of violence, because by the time people or the fans get to adapt to it, it is very difficult. It looks easy in a big stage like in the World Cup, where everything is so controlled. The score and structures are sharp, and every committee functions very soundly. But when you come to apply it in other countries that are still maybe struggling with streamlining their federations, their committees, and disciplinary, especially the disciplinary committees, both for the players, fans, management of fans, still is a problem. We look at most of our stadiums, especially in Africa, still to manage funds. It's also not still a big challenge, even though there are a lot of sanctions. But yeah, I don't think that there are a lot of other countries or continents that are not ready for it.
Interesting conversation, speaking with someone who forms an integral part as far as Kenyan football is concerned. Francis Kimanzi, man who's been at the helm of the national team Harambee Stars, now in charge of one of the leading clubs in the country, Mathare United aka Slum Boys, speaking to us, giving his reaction with regard to the new rules in a sport that is already in the knowledge of public domain, that is football. What do you think yourself? Talk to us. My name is Maxwell Wasike. Stay tuned. We're keeping it sporty as usual.
Welcome back to the second half of the first game of the 12th edition of the East African Military Games here at the Moi International Sports Center, Kasarani. It is Kenya still leading Burundi by 1-0. No change has been made so far except the one that was made by Burundi in the first half, where Mundi Noruvurugo Steve at jersey number 6 left the field of play for Nabitanga Ayel, who came in to represent him. It's Burundi who have started us off here, and they still maintain the lineup with Ismail Kabuntu still starting up in goal. Frank Ndimbusivo is still there. Mbunga Piaz is there, and Nkuruziza to side, finishing up that defense for the Burundi side. Luis Reno is their forward line, and he has got 2 chances for against Ulinzi, but did not capitalize on them. And then we have got Ruyo Mugapo Steven also in the forward line, but he has not got a chance to try and dominate for Burundi and try and get a chance. Can they come ahead in this second half and win, Bernard?
Yes, indeed. Can they come back? I think that's the only question. That's the question that can be answered after 45 minutes of the second half that just kicked off here at Kasarani, pitting these two sides, two military sides. Of course, the East African Military Games, Muzinga against Ulinzi. Who will guard the other Muzinga?
A big one there for Burundi and Kenya. For Ulinzi Stars in this second half of the game, they have not changed anybody onto their side. Timothy Odhiambo is still in goal. Brand Birgen, Omar Mbongo, Muchika Bonaventure and Mohamed Hassan Rio are still dominating that defense for the Ulinzi Stars boys. Boniface Onyango and Waweru Dana manning that deep midfield for Ulinzi. Muloma Churchill, Oscar Omalo in the forward line alongside Nando Elvis and Boravia Omar on the wing. On your screen right now, it is Ulinzi Stars playing from the right to left on their traditional white jerseys and red shorts with wide socks, as Burundi plays from the left side to the right of your screen on their green jerseys with red socks.
Yes, and the white strip.
Yes.
On their kits. Can Burundi salvage anything here? Let's see. The rest of 45 minutes will definitely give us an answer, and Osore and I are here to make sure that you don't miss piece of the action. Of course, it's live on KBC Channel 1. The enterprising encounter here. Burundi now surging forward. They've made most of their works here in their last half of Ulinzi, but Ulinzi now trying to get out of trouble here. Surging forward. This is Onyango Boniface squaring it down on the right flank here, looking for Oscar. Wamalwa Oscar still twisting and turning down on the right corner, but it will be a corner kick for Ulinzi.
You're going to give it to Ulinzi Stars. They seem to be knowing the strengths of Oscar Wamalwa. The long passes from the midfield. In the first half, we saw it happen with Mohamed Hassan Rio, and it was a chance for Oscar Wamalwa to try and rob it in for Nando Elvis to score, but did not get chance. And you have seen it right now. Boniface Onyango getting another long one from the midfield to Oscar Wamalwa, but it is a corner kick for Ulinzi Stars.
Let's see what they can get from that. Ready to take the corner here 48 minutes gone, floated into the area. Header here, but goes out wide to be corner kick.
Too many jerseys for Burundi in that defensive line of the corner kick. Also many jerseys. You have counted 4 to 5 of Ulinzi Stars, but when you get a chance like that, you gotta put it in because you never know what might happen.
Yeah,
Burundi might come and score.
Too many wide shots in the area, but they could not put it behind the net.
Very much.
Parried here. It's now Burundi surging forward, but Rio squares it to Muloma. Back to Birgenbrand. Birgenbrand loses the ball to Niyonzima Kevin Arnold. Kevin Niyonzima, Burundi playing with some urgency here, quickly taken. But again, you're doing on that good job here on the right flank, neutralizing the Burundian defense attack here.
Yes. I think Coach Ndayishimiye has come on with the same style that they were using in the first half. They are only attacking from the left side of the pitch, and that is Ruyo Numugabo Steven and Mbopa Piers, who are trying to push with their speedy wings that they are going to play, but they are not using the right side of the field. You don't see the likes of Ndishiminawa Ayub coming onto the game. Someone like Shawoni Amisi is not actually on the game. So why they're using the left side is actually playing to the strengths of the Ulinzi side, because they're putting the play, they're spreading the play, and they're defeating Burundi on the weakness that they have. Oscar Omalo the ball, Bernard.
Yes, quickly taken here. It will be a foul. The referee decides otherwise. None other than Boraria Omar sprawling on the ground. The Kenyan Ulinzi man lying on the ground. Remember, this particular encounter pitting these two countries, and Burundi is one of the countries that are found in this region, the East Africa region.
Yes.
And of course being bordered by countries like Democratic Republic of Congo, Rwanda and Tanzania, and among the three countries that border this particular landlocked nation,
yes,
Tanzania has the longest borderline with them, covering a total of 451 kilometers. Boraria Omar walking out there, having been not so good play here from Burundi, and getting a word of caution here. It's the number 12 man from Burundi, Frank Ndikuriwo.
Yes.
Quickly started here, Burundi into their as a show of sportsmanship.
You know, many Kenyans know Burundi from the just concluded Africa Cup of Nations, because they were one of the debutants in the Africa Cup of Nations, and some of their good players have also played in the Kenyan Premier League, and they're actually back. Their captain Karim Nizigimana.
Yes, talking about the Sofapaka goalkeeper as well. Ulinzi now surging forward into the area, but 3 wide shots there, could not miss a sitter. 2 wide shots, miss a sitter in the area. Great ball into the area. Great run on the down on the left flank, but the delivery and the finishing, Boraria doing so well, beating his man here, squares the ball into the area. Mick touch here from Wamalwa Oscar, who's not so lucky, and his brightness of brilliance in the first half appears to have deserted him in the opening minutes of the second half. But can he atone for that?
I cannot believe that, Bernard. I cannot believe that. Look at the hard work that Boraria Omar had done in that left side, bringing the ball into a 45 for just a tap-in from Oscar Omalo. But it seems that Oscar Omalo was not in the right mind, was not on the right senses to try and tap that one into the
Now let's see what they can do
of the Burundi.
On the other end, of course, lining up to take the free kick here, just on the edge of the box, 20 yards or so. And Timothy Odhiambo will be the man that will be mandated to keep at bay. Plus, of course, the rest of his men manning that particular defense. We can see Rio trying to make sure that not Rio, but the Muloma Churchill, making sure that
we saw Burundi through
not played,
Luis Romeo in the first half, taking a very good free kick.
Yeah,
a very good free kick that Timothy Otieno saved there. Let's see what they're going to do.
The captain, Frank Ndikuviriwo, is outside the 20-yard box. Let's 20 yards. Let's see, floated into the area. Great ball in, but goes out wide. It will be goal kick. Timothy Odhiambo starting from his own box here, spread over to Muchika Bonventure down on the left flank to Mbongi Omar. Mbongi Omar in search of Busiswa, but Burundi controlling the proceedings here and clear the danger.
I think it's all about frustrating the Burundi players, because now you can see in the first half, Ulinzi Stars were playing short passes, trying to get into the game, but this time around they are playing too much into the long passes. They are trying to tire the Burundi players, but because you can see the Burundi players are really speedy in their style of play. Another
header here from the danger man, but easily contained by Ismail Kabuntu in Muzinga's goal. Timothy Odhiambo on the other end of Ulinzi Stars goal, starting with Rio down on the right flank here, searching for Muchika Bonventure, but not good enough. Back to Rio into his own half here. A lot of kickabouts between these two players, passes and sign of confidence from the Kenyan army men.
Very much. You can see the confidence that they have had throughout the game. They have been having a lot of confidence in the game. Even the way they scored their goal, it was all about confidence. The way they march forward, it's all about confidence. But it is a goal kick.
Yeah, great ball in, but the positioning of the striker there, the man who the ball was intended for, was not appropriate one. He had his back at the post and...
These are like soldiers representing Ulinzi Stars. The Kenya Defence Forces are having fun here at
perhaps
the stadium.
Celebrating too early.
They might be celebrating too early. You never know all their confidence that they are going to win. Remember, the soldiers, mostly the ones who support Ulinzi Stars of the Kenya Defence Forces, they have to come from Nakuru. That's where Ulinzi Stars is based, and they play their home matches at the Afraha Stadium in Nakuru. I was telling you, Bernard, earlier that many Kenyans know Burundi players who have been playing their trade here in the country, and they are
Abdul Razak Fisto was here as well. Zigimana was here, and the Sofapaka goalkeeper as well.
Very good Burundi players. Sibomana, Ismail Sibomana, who played for Gor Mahia as a left back in the 2015 unbeaten season for Gor Mahia, is now back with Wazito. Those are some of their greatest exports that they have brought out, and this time round making it to the Africa Cup of Nations for the very first time. There's a lot of optimism.
It was a big deal for their sport, for their game back at home, and especially for teams like Mzinga, maybe, who also produced a couple of players who featured for the Swallows. That was their name.
Yeah, they did not manage to get a player to feature for them, but now that they are playing in the Premier League in Burundi, we are going to see what they can do as Mzinga. But Ulinzi Stars, you can see the experience that they bring from the Kenya Premier League. They are former champions in the Kenya Premier League. They are good how they play. They are winning. Coach Benjamin Nyangweso must be using actually this tournament as one of his curtain raiser tournament, as pre-season tournament. Because he's preparing his team for the Kenya Premier League. Remember, they have not been performing very well so far. They have been a mid-table side, but when they come knocking, when they come playing their good football, when they play their good football, they actually trouble many teams at the Kenyan Premier League. And when they are playing at home in Afraha Stadium, that is a team that you do not want to joke around with.
Yes, and the last decade, of course, has not been so nice for the Army men. They've missed out on the KPL title, and it must be one of the priorities, because all the 20 teams, their priority is winning the Premier League when it begins, and it's at 0-0 like today. But let's see, back to the action here. Goalkeeper is forced out of his line, swung into the area. Can Ulinzi score? Wamala with a second here. Wamala grabs a second here. A great ball into the area. Ismail Kabuntu in Burundian goal, forced to make save. Gets out of his line, make the save, but the man on the other line, Wamala Oscar, manages. There it is. Piece of the action, forced off the line. Great ball into the area, and Wamala was on side to just put it into the net from Buraria's Omar's earlier effort.
Very good move, a very big shot that was taken there.
Awareness.
Kabutu was coming out of his box to try and get that ball, but a very good disruption from Oscar Omalo. Oscar Omalo disrupted Kabutu and punched that ball outside. Then it was a ball that was brought in by Brian Bergen. It was brought in by Brian Bergen. Then we had Buraria Omar getting that header to Oscar Omalo. And talk about scoring with the swag, scoring with the style, and that is what Oscar Omalo has been bringing here today from the goal he scored in the first half and this goal that he has scored here in the second half. A beautiful goal. Oscar Kabuntu, Ismail Kabuntu will be having himself to blame from the blue. Why did he spill that ball to the right side to have Omar Mbonge, Brian Bergen bring it back, and then Buraria Omar head it to Oscar Omalo's way, and then Oscar Omalo enjoys himself with the swag technique to parry that ball onto the net. We're back underway here after Kenya goes 2-0 ahead against Burundi, and it is a throw-in for Kenya. The confidence that the Kenyan side is now. Look at the way the fans are enjoying themselves here. These are the soldiers. Remember, the Kenya Defence Force, the soldiers celebrating what their boys are doing here at the field of play.
And I'm very sure you're joining them as well in the jig. Let's see another danger here into the Burundian area, but the Muzingas are able to put their house in order and clear the danger by Silu Lindsay. The soldiers here, they are determined. What can they do? Great ball into the area, but again, Ulinzi having a field day here.
Ulinzi has smelled blood, I can tell you, Bernard. Ulinzi
for sure, they're in the battlefield.
They know right now that anything that we are going to do here, it's all about winning. It's all about killing this game. 2-0 ahead, they are looking for another one to kill this game. And I believe in the 30 minutes that are remaining in this game, they are going ahead to do something, Bernard.
Yes, indeed. Let's see what they can do. And what, the great hallmark of a team is how they respond when they fall behind. And if the man from Ndaishinie Prudence can marshal his charges to come back, then it will be a great game. The Kenyans have made people who are here at Kasarani and all those who are watching back at home, they'll be enjoying at an hour mark gone, and it is Kenya 2 and Burundi 0. Yeah.
This game, remember, is being enjoyed all over East Africa. I was talking to some of our friends from Tanzania, and they're tuned in to TBC to watch this game. Also, we have got our Ugandan and Rwandan friends who have tuned in to KBC Channel 1, and they are enjoying this match. And it is the first match of the 12th edition of the East African Military Games here in Nairobi, Kenya, at the Moi International Sports Center, Kasarani. It is Ulinzi leading by 2-0 against Burundi. 61 minutes gone. Benjamin Nyangweso is out on the blocks. They are telling his boys, we gotta kill this game, Bana.
Yes, and we can see Nyangweso, of course, on the touchline there, trying to marshal his charges and tell them what exactly to do. It is 61 minutes played of this encounter. Burundi against Ulinzi. Ulinzi coming from behind, not coming from behind, but leading at 2-0. And the soldiers, all of them, they must salvage a desirable result here. But what can Ulinzi do? Now Wamalwa with one man to beat, but he flaps his chance and gets it back. What can they? A little bit sloppy attack from an awareness from the Kenyan men there, the midfield and the forward line for Ulinzi. Caught napping, not aware, not exhibit the killer instincts there.
Yes.
And maybe just that run says something about Wamala's skills on one-on-one situation.
Yeah, you look at Oscar Omalo as a confident player. He's good at what he does, but when he gets that chance of one-on-one, he does not capitalize on it. But you gotta give it to a player like Omar Mbonge, who is playing on the right side. He's really struggling to play that ball very well. Buraria Omar has also one player who was impressed in the minutes that you have watched him here. The way he attacks from the midfield, the way he passes the ball onto the right side. But you gotta give it to Oscar Omalo because he can play on the right and the left side of the flank as Burundi makes a substitution there, and we have got Ndaishininde Ramadan coming in, and also Ulinzi have made a substitution there.
Timu ya Ulinzi toka jezi nambari 19 mgongoni
duel here. Don't miss any piece of the action. Remember, tomorrow games will be going on here as well. Kenya will be playing Uganda on Friday. If you're picky and you want to support only the home team, Kenya will be playing Uganda on Friday, 16th. Then wind up their campaign against Tanzania on Monday. That will be on 19th. The same day that the cross country will also be happening at the Kahawa Barracks, so at 9 a.m.
I tell you, Bernard, that is the rivalry that you don't want to miss, because the rivalry of Kenya and Uganda in football circles has been there since the days of the Gossage Cup back in the 1920s. The rivalry between Kenya and Uganda does not go through the Senior Challenge Cup. The Sekafa Senior Challenge Cup is also comes here in the military games, and you realize that we have got some of the matches that will be played here in the game. We've got the Nibitanga Ayal coming in. No, it was Muhonza Ramadan at number 11 coming in from Kurunzinza toe side. And that rivalry is one thing that you are going to watch. And then another rivalry that you are not going to miss, Bernard, has got to be the Kenya versus Tanzania. Right now, very tough one from the Africa Cup of Nations. Kenya winning the Africa Cup of Nations, and then we got them Tanzania defeating Kenya in Chan tournament. Now what about this one?
Of course, the team from the land of hills and mountains, and of course, remember the highest point in this particular country, Burundi, being Mount Hiha, which has an elevation of 2,670 meters, while the lowest point is Lake Tanganyika with 772 meters. Burundi making so much foray into the Ulinzi half here, but they cannot scratch out a probable or desirable result. Wamalwa going head to head here with two defenders on him into Burundi's half here. What can they do? Kenya, Burundi conceding a foul. None other than the Kenya taking their all time, time to take it, maybe just kill down the clock.
Very much now they are actually very much in control of this game. They know they have got 2 goals against Burundi. Burundi has not troubled them. Burundi has not done very much to score against Kenya. They had a very good chance in the first half through Luis Romeo, but did not get a chance to put that one into the net. And Kenya has got chances here and there, but the best two chances that they have got, they have actually batted them into the box, and they have been scored with mercurial style from a striker who knows what he's doing inside the 18-yard box. You can see there
Mbongi Omar
Mbongi
picked a knock, probably.
You can see the experience of the Kenyan Premier League, Bernard, what is doing to the Ulinzi Stars players. They know how to dismantle a team. They know how to play a team that has not been together for a very long time. And for Ulinzi, this is a team that has been together for a very long time. They win balls, they get chances to go and score. This is what I was talking about, Bernard, earlier, using the flanks in both sides, and this time around Burundi has tried to do that, but it is not very formidable to try and attack it on Ulinzi side.
Yes, and Ulinzi will now be marshalling and lining up the attack from behind Mbongi. A lot of 1-2s between him and Timothy to Rio. And Ulinzi, of course, requiring to salvage or pick up 3 crucial points from this particular encounter. The only team, of course, in this 6th Nation Championship that's not playing football is South Sudan, who are participating in their 2nd East Africa Military Games, sending a sizable number of participants or contingent.
Actually, this time we have seen many teams coming on to this side. We have got many teams being represented here. Bernard, we have got Burundi and Burundi National Defense Force, which is here. They are playing against the Kenya Defense Forces. We have got the Rwanda Defense Force also here. We've got the newest entrant into the East African community is the South Sudan People's Defense Forces, who are also being represented here. We have got the Tanzania People Defense Forces, and lastly the Uganda People's Defense Forces, who are also here to play this one. And as you can watch the East African Games on KBC Channel 1, remember the military games and the culture event is organized by the East African Community Framework for Cooperation in Defense, and in accordance with Article 125 of the treaty and Article 2 of the protocol.
Yes.
On cooperation in defense affairs, and these things include military training, joint operations, visits and exchange of information. Actually, if you look in the whole of Africa, one bloc that is really united, one bloc that is really organized has got to be the East African community.
And yes, indeed. Also remember this after the holding of the first ever and the only one, the only edition of the African Military Games, which were held here in 2002, attracting over 35 countries, over 1,500 participants. It was mooted, or it was hoped that we will be having annual, the African Military Games will be annual, but that did not happen. We only had one edition, but remember, it was held here in Kenya, and so Kenya basically having hosted the first edition of the Games, I'm very sure went together with the rest of the East Africa partners and decided to have to form the East Africa Military Games, which first edition happened in 2005, you know, and here we have the championship or other editions going on and going on and going on stronger, you know, and with 5 disciplines, a good number of disciplines, 4 disciplines, sports disciplines. Very sure that this Africa Military Games dream is not too long.
It is a very good initiative that they have done here for the East African community. Some of the games that they have brought us for here, the disciplines that they have, the 5 disciplines that they have brought this time around. We have got the cross country men and women, which will be happening tomorrow. We have got the football men, which has actually started here. Basketball men is another event that we are going to watch, because you look at basketball, Kenya, the Ulinzi Warriors are one of the formidable sides when it comes to basketball here in the country. But how will they tower against the long-standing, tall-standing South Sudanese players of basketball there? But we have got also the netball women and the volleyball women that will be happening all the way in this 10-day event, starting today all the way to the 23rd of August here in Nairobi, Kenya.
Yes, remember, and of course that particular team of basketball, Kenya, of course, having done so well at the concluded African, and Mutoro, one of the big stars that emerged from that, did well for Kenya. Yeah. We believe that he has a huge role to play in this particular championship. And also speaking to Colonel earlier on, we were able to find out that the only medal that Kenya did not win, the only gold that Kenya did not win was the basketball, the last edition of this particular championship. Well, it is a must win for Kenya. One of the big, one of the coveted trophies that Kenya will be gunning for is the basketball.
Very much true, and remember, competition is high this time around, and if Kenya wins against Burundi, they have already told Burundi that you are not going to retain the title that you took last year when you hosted the event back in Bujumbura, Burundi, and won the event with a total of 10 medals, followed by Uganda with the 9, and then Kenya coming back with the 8. Tanzania trailed with the 4, and in that tournament we never saw Rwanda and South Sudan, but this time round they are back to try and salvage what they are going to do, and Kenya has got to be up there to try and maintain the bragging rights of when you host the event, you got to win.
Yes,
and
you're gonna win it at home. You have to sip everything on offer.
Yes,
big clearance here, but not well cleared by the Burundian defense, which has been caught napping twice in this particular match. We are trailing.
Look at that kind of naivety, giving the ball back onto the Kenyan players at the 18-yard box of them. You gotta ask yourself what those defenders, Mbopa Piers, Frank Ndekoyavo, are doing, why you are giving the ball back to your enemy at the expense of you losing the ball, and this guy is going to score against your side. See the way Kenyan side are closing very well. The Kenyan midfield there is really closing very well. The likes of Muloma, Churchill, Waweru, Danan, Onyango, Boniface, they close them very well from that midfield, and they don't give them a chance to go forward.
Yes, indeed. Now Burundi must find out a formula here. Racing onto that ball, but it will be too long for the Kenyan man there. Waweru down on the right flank. It is a battle here that Ulinzi are poised to win with less than just 17 minutes to go.
A very good start for Kenya here, starting with the Ulinzi Stars, the way they have played this game. Oh, losing that ball. But you can see the way Oscar Omalo has been very good, trying to trouble the Burundi defense coming onto their side, and the Burundi goalkeeper also fearing what Oscar Omalo might do, and let's clear the ball and get a free kick, because you look at the Burundi side, they are not good enough to go against the likes of Oscar Omalo, Omar Mbongi, Brian Bergen and Boradia Omar one-on-one. When it comes to one-on-one duels, you can see that the Ulinzi Stars are winning these ones very well. Burundi, they need to come onto this match. They need to be composed. They need to remember to play their own football and play the way they had planned to come and play. But the moment they went on to play into the Kenyan hands, the Ulinzi Stars have played to them onto that side, and they have won that side. The Burundi team they have very good speedy wingers, speedy players, but they have not used that to their own advantage to try and beat the Kenyan warriors here.
Yes, maybe that can all be attributed to a masterful deployment of team tactic by Sergeant Benjamin Nyangweso.
You see, Benjamin is a very good tactician. He's a winning coach. He has won the Kenyan Premier League with the Ulinzi Stars. Has also won the military games here with Ulinzi Stars way back in 2005. He has got a good side. He has known his players. He has been with the team for a very long time. He knows what he wants, and that's why you can see Ulinzi Stars enjoying themselves the way they are doing against the Muzungu.
Former international as well.
Yeah, former international for Kenya. Now with the Ulinzi Stars. Don't forget that technical bench is rich with experience, because it's a technical bench with Mulingi Ndeto,
former left back, former Harambee Stars left back.
Yeah, in that technical bench. Francis Onyiso, former Harambee Stars goalkeeper and also winning player with Ulinzi Stars in these military games. In that side, Dan Nyaundo is also there as the team manager, so it is a very well experienced and oiled machine.
And Nyaundo at some stage of the campaign last season, he was in charge of the team, remember?
Yes, a very good coach there for Ulinzi Stars, kept them in the table, but they had to bring back the experienced Benjamin Nyangweso onto this side for Ulinzi Stars. Very good start for them, the way they have played, the way they have been winning matches, the way they have been going forward, and this one gives morale to the other teams of the Kenya Defence Forces, or now they are going to play in these military games, try and win the bragging rights that these games have. Kenya 1-2 there between
Bongi and Waweru.
Yes.
Now Waweru racing onto that left flank, crosses into the area.
Wanapata bao msikilizaji, Ulinzi Stars kupitia jezi nambari 25 Enos Ochieng msikilizaji. Enos Ochieng anapata bao msikilizaji.
Yes, and there you have it, the KPL 2018-2019 top scorer, firing Ulinzi and farming Ulinzi's lead here with a third goal. Wow, the KPL top scorer, last season's KPL top scorer, finding his form here. It's a good routine win for them. It's a good pre-tournament, pre-league preparation for them. They must be having.
Yeah, very good. We talked earlier of how good the coach Benjamin Nyangweso is, because you see he did not start with his best players. Now he is the top scorer. Enos Ochieng has just come into the second half, and he has got that good kick from Dan Waweru, and Dan Waweru looking at the sides, knowing where Enos Ochieng was. Oscar Omalo missing that ball, and it was Enos Ochieng putting his mark onto the side to score his first goal of the East African Military Games. You can go ahead and say the top scorer right now is Oscar Omalo, and Enos Ochieng is the other one coming behind with 1 goal as Ulinzi Stars led Burundi Muzinga by 3 goals to 2. 77 minutes gone.
Yes, man. 13 minutes to go. In other words, this one Malo again racing with the defender, lift them for there and score!
Beautiful!
There you have it. Just before we could finish. Oscar Wamalo finds his third of the night. A hat-trick. Oscar Wamalo scores a hat-trick, finds a hat-trick. Look at that, Robert. He shoulders off, shows his masculinity. He shoves aside the 3 defenders and well places past out the on-rushing goalkeeper in Burundian goal. And there you have the celebrations. Where's the march? They salute. They forgot to do that.
They're going to appreciate their fans. They're going to appreciate their fans. I told you how good the Ulinzi players are. You look at Oscar Wamalo, one-on-one going against the 3 people. He's fighting the 3 people and he went through against Mbopa Pierce. He fought the 3 of them, went one-on-one and put it past to third, and it's now 4 goals. Oscar Wamalo coming on with a hat-trick. Talk about having a pre-season where you are enjoying yourself as Kenya leads Burundi by 4 goals to 1 in this second half of this edition of the tournament.
Yes, and there we have it, Robert Osoro. Is it a flattering scoreline?
This is a scoreline that talks about strength, a scoreline that talks about experience, a scoreline that talks about players who know what they want and a coach who knows what he wants, and that is what they have done into this game. They have come onto the side, getting a goal in the first half, in the first minutes of the game. 7 minutes there that Oscar Wamalo made it 1-0 against Ulinzi. They went with that into the half-hour mark. Coming back, Oscar Wamalo getting a chance. And also Ching, before we could stop talking about Oscar Wamalo's goal, and also Ching scores his first goal of the tournament and a hat-trick coming on from Oscar Wamalo. I can tell you this player is going to be one of the players, one of the star players when the Kenya Premier League season opens up later this month. But when talk about the East African Military Games, Oscar Wamalo is the top scorer as we speak right now, and Muzinga of Burundi, they don't know what they are going to do with 10 minutes to go.
They must come back in their second match. Now this is over and above beyond them, but with 10 minutes to go, never write football, never say never in football. And another one here, a great comeback there. Let's see what they can do, but decide to square it into the area. Ulinzi on the prowl here by Tolby.
Talk about players enjoying themselves. I told you they had smelled blood. Oscar Wamalo had smelled blood. He was laying it in for Onyango Boniface to try and get that long shot in, but it did not happen. Burundi were really disrupted into the first, and when the first goal was scored, and they have not come back onto this game, Bernard, because now it is Ulinzi Stars who are enjoying game themselves here. Dan Waweru getting it to Oscar Wamalo on the left side. Oscar Wamalo bad. He has been ruled offside by the assistant referee. A very good player, man of the match performance from Oscar Wamalo.
With a hat-trick.
Yeah.
That
a very good one there, Bernard. I can tell you the way Oscar Wamalo has played onto this game, he has really put a mark onto them. We have got Shambi Ibrahim ready to come in. Shambi Ibrahim
coming in for,
ready to come in for
Elvis Nandwa. Ibrahim Shambi coming in for Nandwa Elvis. Burundi, can they reply 4 in 9 minutes?
You look at the spirit, the clearance of the Burundi players, the way they are clearing the ball. The spirit is not there. The spirit is not there. They are not playing with the heart of a team that wants to score a goal, a team that doesn't want to go home.
And Ulinzi is playing like champions.
Ulinzi are playing like champions.
They are the defending champions of this particular soccer title, in this particular championship.
They are showing why they are the champions. They are showing why they are the defending champions, and they are showing why some of their players represent Kenya in the national team.
Yes, indeed. Or why some of their players deserve a place in the national team.
Very much. Some of the players from Ulinzi side who have actually played in the national team. We have got
Oscar Wamalo again on the left flank, the right flank there, twisting and turning. confidently decide to pass it back into the center of the field here. It's kicking and passing amongst themselves here. It could be a sign of confidence and enjoying themselves.
Very much, very much. But I can tell you, Bernard, the biggest game that Ulinzi is going to have has got to be against APR of Rwanda, because it's also a military side that plays at the Rwandan Premier League. So that is going to be a very big game between these two sides. Ulinzi Stars, the experience they have of playing in the Kenyan Premier League weekend in, weekend out, has shown onto this game. The flexibility, the intensity, the endurance of the Ulinzi players has come in as a corner is brought in, but a very mediocre and not well taken corner there.
Burundi failed to provide resistance, failed to provide response in this particular encounter, despite their starting brightly. But let's see what they can do. A chance here with the captain inside the box, twists and turns, but Timothy Diambo is forced into action here.
A very good chance there by the Burundi captain, trying to pull one over Timothy Otieno, but you can see how cautious Timothy Otieno is. Do not take that one by chance, and he punched it to a corner which Burundi has taken very quickly, but they have pulled it back into their own half as Frank Diombubo tries to pull it forward, but it is now a ball for Timothy Otieno of Ulinzi Stars. You can look at the spirit of the Burundi players. It's really out banal. They are not there to win it. They are not there to score any goal. They just want this match to come to an end. But from the way Ulinzi Stars are playing and the fans who are here at the stadium, the Kenya Defence Forces who are cheering on their team, they can tell you that they do not want this match to come to an end. Because right now it is some of the floodlights, the breeze is good for these players, and they're enjoying themselves at the Moi International Sports Center, Kasarani.
Of course, as the floodlights come on, the 6 minutes to play at the Kasarani International Stadium, built for the All Africa Games in 1987.
Yes.
Yep.
One huge stadium with history here in Kenya, a stadium that has held some of the best events. Remember, it was built back in '87, as you said, because of the All Africa Games, with Kenya got on to the final only to lose to Egypt by 1-0. And then we came here to host the game you talked about between Nigeria and Kenya, where Francis Onyiso made his name back in 1997. Was also played in this one. But also the World Under-18 Championship that came here in 2018. Some of the tournament games, some of the Makuro tournaments that have been held at the Moi International Sports Center, Kasarani.
Yes, not just football alone. We've had some of the biggest reggae events here. Remember the Don Carlos concert as well. Taking you way back.
Way back when reggae was reggae and people were enjoying.
No, but Usoro is a good friend. It's a good fan of reggae. But we here talk matters football.
And then also Chien gets that chance.
And also Chien searching for into the box. Positive area. Can they score? Finish it up, but no. The Burundian defense manages to clear the danger here. They're not looking for an option. Running on the left flank. It will be a throw-in to be quickly taken by the Burundian men. Another substitution here by Benjamin Nyangweso. Muchika
kama Ali anatoka hapa EAC nambari 26 anajulikana kama
Daniel Waweru making way for Ali Swale. Coming in with 4 minutes to play. It's an entertaining encounter coming to live on KBC Channel 1. And Ulinzi leading 4-0. Burundi with a long range effort there from 20 yards from Nduimana Louis Ramio, but not too good for his side, and it will be a goal kick quickly taken here. Ulinzi starting it from their own half here.
Look at coach Benjamin Nyangwezo's substitutions for Ulinzi. Tells you he has plans for the game that will be happening tomorrow at 6 p.m. against South Sudan here at the Kasarani Stadium. He's trying to rest some of his players who have played and give a chance to some of the players who have actually not played so much at all onto this game. But he has a very disciplined defense led by Captain Hassan Rio, and you can see the way they have played in that one. A very good midfield there by Dano Aweru, Churchill Muloma. But it is the forward line that has come to life here at the Kasarani Stadium. You look at the likes of Nando Elvis, Oscar Omalo himself with a man of the match performance, and Buraria Omar coming in. But Enos Ochieng has also come in and put his name on the score sheet as Oscar Omalo gets that ball.
Yes, and as we edge closer to the game, to the end of the game, we might be having 2 or 3 minutes to be added on. Ulinzi with another threat there, going off the mark, and Ismail Kabuntu starting in Mzinga's goal. Perhaps this killing down the clock. Not so much they can do to salvage good result here in Ulinzi. Perfect way to start a tournament and at home.
Very much. You know, in a tournament, in any football tournament, in any tournament that you are going to play, the first match matters. How you are going to perform in your first match matters. You can see Ulinzi now, they are enjoying themselves. They are dilly-dallying with that ball. They are massaging that ball in that midfield and enjoying the possession.
Stroking it from end to end, you know.
They are enjoying the possession. They are showing that Burundi was not a match for us. That's why they are playing the way they are playing. Now they have won the game by 4 goals to nil. A statement of intent actually of how they are going to defend this title, if they are going to defend it. And they have already said, we are here for the defense of our title that we won back in Burundi.
And they're on course, of course, with this perfect result, keeping a clean sheet. Says a lot about Mbongi, Birgen, and Rio at the back.
Very
the backbone of Ulinzi's defense.
The Burundi has not troubled them much. Good glimpse of brilliance from the Burundi forwards. The legs of Shawani Amesi, the legs of Louis Romeo. They had some glimpses of brilliance. A very good free kick taken there by Luis Romeo. But they have really not troubled Timothy Otieno in that goal. They have not troubled Hassan in that goal. Corner kick there for Burundi as they try to salvage.
Muchika Bonventure conceding that particular corner, and Louis Ramio Nduimana Louis will be taking the corner, the Burundian Muzinga captain. The dying minutes into stoppage time. Let's see what they can do. Floated into the area. Goalkeeper goes up, but did not have his palm on it. He's lying on the ground.
Timothy Otieno did not touch that ball, and one of the basics of being a good goalkeeper.
Never move out when you're not sure.
Yes, you have to touch that ball.
Timing is essence.
Yeah.
Because once you miss it, then
someone there.
It is kilometers to miss.
Yeah. But he has really had a good game, Timothy Otieno, saving 2 good free kicks that were taken there, saving some good ball that came on his way, and making sure that Ulinzi can go ahead and keep a clean sheet on this match.
What do you make of we might have talked about how Ulinzi has been able to keep a clean sheet in this particular game, but what do you make of the forward line for Burundi? Have they offered the resistance and that nudge that we were expected to see? Look at that. Timothy going into the air and wasn't so sure because the ball was beyond him and he had to turn. Maybe find a reason to go down on the ground, but he was clearly beaten.
Yeah, very much, very much. You look at the forward line for Burundi, the legs of Steven Rugo Mugabo, they do not come onto the party. Shawon Amisi, they do not come onto the party. They did not use the strength that the Burundi team had against the Kenyan side. Was the speed of their flanks, the speed of their players who are playing on the flanks. But you look at the anchor midfielder there, Irakonze Jimmy did not come into the party to try and play this game the way it's supposed to be played. Kenya managed to defeat them from the way they did it, and that was scoring the first game and never giving them a chance to rest. Never gave them a chance to find their composure, find their comfortability, find their style of play, and come and play on this game the way that they can play and try to salvage something out of it.
Yes, indeed. It is in the honors for Burundi to try and find, maybe breach Kenya's defense here, but not as it stands. The Ulinzi will be going home with a 4-0 scoreline. Flanking scoreline for the Army men.
A very good one for them, a very good one for them, because now when you have started your tournament high, the way you have started it, you have already got 4 goals on this one. The way you play it is how you win it. Remember, Ulinzi now they have got 4 goals, a clean sheet, and they have started the tournament with the first match on a high. That gives them a confidence boost when they are going to play South Sudan tomorrow at 6 p.m. And remember, tomorrow also these same Burundi players will be starting at 2 p.m. against the defense forces of Tanzania.
Yes, indeed.
How they are going to rise on that second game, because Tanzania will be starting on their first match, will be crucial for them as they take this free kick.
Yes, last piece of the action, a shot straight into the waiting arms, waiting palms of Timothy Odhiambo. And there we have it, the referee brings the game, blows the final whistle of this opening match between Ulinzi Stars and Muzinga of Burundi. That ends at 4-0, an emphatic scoreline here. Oscar Omala with a hat-trick, and the KPL 2018-2019 top scorer Enos Ocheng creating 1, scoring 1. Later on in the game to hand Benjamin Nyangweso, Sergeant Benjamin Nyangweso's side the opening win, an emphatic win, a morale boosting win that sets them onto the stage for
very much. It gives you the confidence to start the tournament on a high. It gives you the confidence to go ahead and play your second game, and with winning with this kind of scoreline against Burundi shows that Kenya is ready to defend its title in the East African Military Games that are happening here in Nairobi. The last time that we played in 2018, Kenya still won the football category, but they fell short of winning the overall title after only 28 medals. These are the highlights of the game as it started for Kenya, that they went ahead to win this match.
And as you can see, Kenya starting on the right footing there from the word go. Nice of pieces of interchange of play here between the two sides. And that was the opening goal.
7 minutes there.
Yeah, in the first 10 minutes of this particular encounter. There was a great spread back on that particular mark, but there was wasn't fruitful.
That was Kamalo going ahead there, but did not get it. Then we have got Luis Romeo coming in. Yeah, but Timothy Otieno was standing tall in that defense, and then we got Ubuntu getting that one. A long one, a yellow card for Kenya there for Muchika Bonaventure of what he did to stretch out the Uganda player, but it did not work out for him.
Yes,
then
indeed.
We had a spill there by the Burundian goalkeeper. Then we had Nando Elvis dropping that one in, Mushiri heading it, and then Oscar Omalo finishing it with the kind of swag that you expect from a touring striker. Second goal.
Great work there. Much credit should be given to Boraria Omar.
Yes.
Who the header must have intended to go into the box, but found Oscar Omalo on the other end, who had the easy work of just tapping into an empty net. There you have it. Read the name, Enos Ocheng
scoring goal.
Yes.
Before you could finish talking about Enos Ocheng scoring his third goal, that was Oscar Omalo running alone.
Great solo effort there.
With a hat.
Shoves two defenders and leaves them for dead, and just puts it into the net and gives hands to Ulinzi Stars an emphatic win that set them onto the powerful encounter. Yes, thank you so much. And now we take you back to Broadcasting House for the continuation of our broadcast. From us, it's a lovely evening and good night.